Hey, I just got back from lunch. Did you finish that report yet?
Well, not exactly. Still working on it. I'm not finished just yet. I got a little sidetracked, but I will get them to you first thing this afternoon.
It is first thing this afternoon.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but I mean, I am working on
But
it. I'll have.
what do you mean that the report isn't finished yet?
I'm still in the process of working on it. I've just been a little distracted.
Distracted. Our meeting starts in an hour.
I can have it.
No. What were you doing? Were you listening to another hunting podcast again? I swear, I give the staff in this office the freedom to do whatever they want to do as long as they meet a deadline. That is the first bullet underneath your job description. Pays attention to detail and deadlines. And deadlines. With emphasis in FO. Dude, are you even listening to me right now?
Welcome to episode 161 of the Whitetail Distraction Podcast. My name's Austin, and joining me in my garage, Charles Headland. How you doing, buddy?
You know what? I'm doing just fine.
This has already been an amazing podcast.
Yeah, we haven't even
hit record
yet.
Yeah.
We've been sitting here for an hour. Just my cheeks hurt, my body hurts.
I got a cramp a little bit ago.
Yeah,
unbearable.
Flat tire from laughing. Number one, because we have the Marcello family in here, by the way.
That we do.
Boys,
cheers.
Welcome.
Hello.
Cheers.
Hello.
And we'll get into some exciting stuff, but we've been quoting, like 50 different movies, TV shows.
At least.
It's expected at this point. Yeah.
Golly. So if that comes up, that's going to happen.
Oh, it will.
Definitely. Almost guarantee that's going to happen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But here we are, episode 161.
It's going to be a good one.
Sorry for the delay. We're recording this on a Friday night, so typically we post on Fridays, but we'll get this one out to you guys here shortly.
First thing Monday.
Yeah, it should be out Monday.
Yeah,
so
it'll be good.
While you're listening to this, there's my apology.
Yeah. But first things first.
Yeah.
Let's take care of some business.
Got to get the business out the way. Okay, boys? So you just sit tight there, enjoy your drinks. We got to talk a little bit of our partners. First and foremost, Scree Gear.
Scree Gear right off the rip. Use code WDP20 for 20% off your first purchase.
And I do believe Monday they will still be, the Monday will be the last day. You right over there, Joe? You doing okay? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Monday is the last day of their Black Friday. So it is through midnight of 11/6. So that is Monday. Yeah, it's 30% off, up to 30% off most of your favorite items. So yeah, they got a lot of the merino wool on sale right now. Even a lot of the hardscrabble stuff at 25% off. Your quarter zip, which is one of my favorite merino tops, it's 20% off. So get on there, check it out. We just posted a reel about it. You can check us out on social media and use our affiliate link through our link tree on Instagram or Facebook and go through that link. If you're going to make an order, that basically lets them know that we sent you their way.
That's exactly right.
All right. And then VIP Archery.
Getting down to business with those bad boys.
Yeah. Combat Veteran, Commanders, two of my favorites right
Combat
now currently.
Vet all freaking day, dude.
Yep.
Getting down dirty.
I think I just finally retired one of mine after 6 or 7 animals. So
yeah,
it tells you about the absolute just brutalness that they can go through. And
durability, man. One thing I can think of with them.
All right. That's it. Well, no, that's not it.
That's not it.
We do have Back 40 Seed Company
Back
as well.
40 Seed.
Can't forget about those
Distraction
guys.
10 plus free shipping through the end of the year.
There you go. All right. Good shit. All right, boys. Sorry, we had to do that real quick.
You're good.
You guys all right over there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Doing real good. I lost focus there for a minute.
I don't blame you. It's okay. But we got you guys here because first and foremost,
you want to introduce them?
Yeah.
Brandon. We have Christopher walking in the house.
We do. Chris is here.
Charles, my boy.
How are you?
I'm doing just fine.
Good to see you again, buddy. Joe is a return 2 episode guest.
I believe. Third.
Yeah. So this is number 3. Mm-hmm. You brought your brother along with you.
Yeah, he just kind of followed me.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. 2 peas in a pod, 2 of you. But he's also the real killer in this room, I think, for the white-tailed animals that we're going to talk about. So
100%.
there's a reason he's here.
I'd like to feel like I get
Contributed.
a little credit for that in the early days.
Okay.
I'll give it to you.
All right. That's fair enough.
No, he's a killer. That's why I told you guys like a couple of weeks ago or whatever when he shot that big buck. I was like, you got to talk to him if you're looking for a whitetail podcast because I mean, you got 172, 150, and this year what was he 158?
158
and then
quarter.
just the bucks,
Freaking
even the
beast.
bucks in between were all good bucks. I mean,
Yeah, it's just insane. We're talking about Pennsylvania bucks
to Ohio.
to Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's still ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. So we brought you along. Now, is Brandon your younger brother?
yeah, just us two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Just the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Oh, Leo.
the two.
Just
We can make it if you try. We sure can, boys. So we've been laughing it up. We've been giggling a lot for the last hour plus. And but we got to get into this because Brandon did shoot an absolute freaking stud down to be
Stud, man.
in the early season when most guys are still sitting on their couch in Pennsylvania because the season hadn't even opened yet.
Yeah.
I get a picture from Joe like, dude, look at what my brother shot, and there's this freaking caribou.
Yeah.
Oh, the thing was huge, man.
Just stupid.
Yeah.
The mass on it and everything, just absolutely
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I wish we could
gorgeous
have waited,
deer.
man, because that deer was like I was out that night too, and
Mhm.
to be
Yeah.
behind our parents, and he's like, I shot that buck, and then he's like, I'm like, all right, well, I'll come help you, wait till dark, and he's like, I already got him, like, I
No
need help,
shit.
and I'm like, all right, I'm getting down.
Yeah.
Now, is this a deer?
It wasn't that calm of a call. It
Right.
was more like a FaceTime, and I'm like just losing my
yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
I love the
I
fist
couldn't
pumps.
believe it.
But then
Yeah.
he's also like, I'm
I was like,
hunting too. 'Cause I'm like, let's go, baby. I'm screaming.
yeah, was that
And
the
I was
night
like,
I saw that nice buck behind the house? Is that no? That was the first.
Yeah, that was it.
Was that night?
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause that's when you
Spike your
called.
bow out of the stand.
yeah. 'Cause I saw a nice buck too that night,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but he was like 80 yards
'Cause
out.
Didn't he work down to the creek? Yeah,
He went down the creek bottom.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No.
You guys are a lot like my brother and I. My, Joe, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
My brother. Joe.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Carl.
Carl.
Good old Joe bag.
Don't bring Carl.
I'm sorry, Joe. I didn't. I had to. I didn't
Don't
have
do
a
it.
choice. I love you.
But it's funny, like even this year, I did the same thing. I called him, and it's like I'm freaking out. Well, here when I shot my buck, he actually came in with like he was our number one, and then our number two was right behind him.
Yeah.
Like they came in together, and
Yeah.
he's standing there. The deer's standing there, looking like, what the fuck just happened?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm over there just freaking out, and just like, all right, calm down and shut the hell up. Like he's
Yeah.
200 yards away. Like this deer can still come down to
Yeah.
me. But dude, in the moment, it's like
Oh yeah.
It's unmatched.
No.
you have to
Because
celebrate it.
you think about it all year long, and then that moment happened. And that's the thing that I've kind of
You put a lot of time into.
yeah, that's what I've tried to be better with. Is like when you break it down and you say like, okay, I shot the buck, found him, got him out, off to the butcher shop, off to the taxidermist, off to this. Now you're waiting.
It's over.
And it's
so
like,
fast.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, yeah. 2 days later, you're like, I did that
Yep.
target buck I was after.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to really just
You gotta cherish it.
you got to hold on as long as you can.
Stay as long as you can.
Stay as long as you can. Cherish it.
You do.
Who would eat 12 packed lunches?
Who would steal 12 bag lunches?
But yeah, man, the excitement is just yeah. You think about it constantly. It's,
Oh, I was so pumped for you. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
That's cool. Now, to break this down, is this a buck that you guys knew about before this going into the season, or
I had a few pictures of him last year,
okay?
Okay.
and he basically just
Blew up.
Yeah.
I don't
Really?
hunt this. It's just his spot. So
yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like you need to.
I'm not allowed. I've tried.
I've tried.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I get it. It's all right.
Is it
You're
is it a
feeble.
real spot or is it imaginary?
no, it's a spot.
Okay, we're gonna need
Yeah.
some pins.
It's right in the panhandle of
I
where
like
West Virginia
to-
and Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and New York meet.
He pulled, yeah, from the fucking archives.
It's like a It's like a lightning bolt.
It's right there.
Got a steel trap up here.
Bro.
Did I mess that up or was that right?
No,
West
you were
Virginia, New
really
York?
Right on the panhandle.
right on the panhandle.
Yeah.
Right on that line, right where West Virginia and New York hit. Like,
Mhm.
you know, that
Yeah,
line.
right
That's
there.
where it
Yeah.
was.
That's right.
That's
where it was.
impressive,
Yeah.
actually.
Bro.
Not even mad.
Nobody has brought that out. Dude, oh my God.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I'm not sure what's happening.
Brandon has no clue on the inside joke.
That is like the biggest inside joke from like some of
100
our
episodes
first
ago?
episodes.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
That was our
Oh
thing.
my
Whenever
gosh.
someone asks you what your spot is, you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's right there in the panhandle. It's right where West Virginia and New York meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there. That's where we hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was our thing for a while.
Buddies will
I'll
text
look
me,
that
oh
up on-
yeah,
try to find it
where's
online.
that at? I'm like, I like to consider myself a bit of a gentleman. I don't like to kiss and tell, so like I'm gonna just keep it.
Yeah, everyone who asked me, I lied.
Yeah.
When they told me where
Yeah,
that's where you
100%.
shot it. I was
You
like,
have
oh
to.
yeah, you shot it here.
Yeah.
Guam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing we can say for certain that it was
Yeah, they got a
2B
season this early.
For sure.
because
2B
it was
goes all the way to Guam.
yeah,
It was too big.
it was
Yes.
2B
Yes, it was.
because we have to be legal. It was also before the season started, so
To be continued.
that's the closest they're gonna get to
Yep.
it. That's
Yep.
for damn sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
I don't expect it
That
any
was-
other way.
When was that? September what?
I feel
That
like it was the
was-
last week of 2B because it was almost opener.
19th.
That makes
19th?
sense. 19th.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because the 16th was.
It was that
I
early?
believe it.
Oh wow, I didn't even think it was that early. I thought it was the
I think
second
I
week.
think it was the 16th.
I can pull up.
Yeah,
the
you know what?
picture.
No, I think it was.
No, it was later than that.
It was the second Thursday.
That's what I was gonna say. I
Yeah.
could have swore it was the second season or second.
You
week.
was
sent
the
me the
second-
pictures
It
on
was the second
Sunday.
Thursday. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, you sent me the pictures on Sunday,
Sunday.
Sunday. No, I sent.
September 24th.
Oh
You
yeah,
sent
I
me
mean,
the
yeah.
pictures.
We.
So
I probably sent me the next morning.
21st.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
more sense.
yeah,
So our season opener was the 30th, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
2B is the 16th.
Is
I'm
Yeah.
looking at a
16th.
picture right now.
Yep.
September 21st, 8:26 p.m. That's when you
21st.
beautiful.
found
That's
them.
freaking crazy.
I think it was dark then.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it was dark.
Gorgeous early season Cape, everything.
Mhm.
Just absolutely freaking beautiful.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
That's fantastic.
I kind of want to back this up a little bit though,
Yeah. back it
because
up.
before that happened,
what?
you went on a trip.
Mm-mm.
No,
That was
No.
after. That was first week of
was it?
October.
Am I fucked up?
Which trip are you talking about? The Western trip?
Yeah.
It was after.
Yeah,
Was it
100%.
really?
First
Yeah, it
week
was
of
after.
October.
It's definitely after.
Oh god damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, we're still on.
I messed up then.
Could tell
Okay.
you guys really do your homework before you have to.
I swear to God, we're professionals.
We're not. We're not. We just go.
Oh yeah, it totally is.
100% it was.
I was scrolling and I saw it and I was like, it just must have been before. No. Okay. Well, we'll get to that.
No, we're still talking white.
I looked over and Joe's just shaking his head. He's like, no.
He's like,
I'm
don't
trying
say
to
it.
tell you without having to throw you under the bus.
Austin, don't say it. Just,
Don't do it. I
my
knew what
God.
you were going to say.
I just kept going.
I thought you were going to back up to the deer story itself because we need to get into it a little bit.
I do. I want to go
I love
into
the
it.
confidence, though. You know.
Yeah,
It
he
was,
was.
it was good. It was right
Full
there.
in. He cuts me off all the time like that too, and usually he's right. You know, this
You
time,
see what happens?
Man,
right
it
here?
hurt.
So you got some pictures last year of this deer.
Mhm.
Did you name it? Did you name the deer?
I did.
Veronica Vaughn.
I named him
His one
Potbelly Pig.
Potbelly pig. Okay.
Not really sure why. It just kind of popped up. Mainly like,
That's ridiculous.
I know it is. I remember seeing his
I love
just
deer
his,
names.
his body and
Mhm.
his belly just looked massive. And for some reason it was like, oh, Potbelly Pig. Like, that's what I'm going to go with.
A
The
taxidermist
PBB.
is going to age him too, right? You
Yeah.
give him the jaw, or no? You're going to send it. He's going to keep the jaw, and you're going to send it in.
Yeah.
yeah, right. I want to
Yeah.
know how old he is because that deer had like no teeth. They
Yeah.
were gone.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, they were worn down. It was crazy.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I actually asked him to score him for me too, just to see like,
Was it what you taped him at?
yeah, just to see.
Oh, he didn't tell you yet.
No,
You taped him at what?
158 and a quarter.
Anyway,
But
go
every
ahead.
time I do
Sorry.
it, I
And
feel like I'm
I don't mean to correct you, but 158 and 2/8. Okay, just so just so we're clear on the actual, technicalities here.
Can you read a measuring tape?
Speak English, Jeff. We ain't
158 and
scientists.
2/8.
So the deer, obviously, Potbelly Pig last year was what would you say, score wise? Describe him a little bit. What kind of deer was he? Was he on your radar last year?
Yes and no, mainly because the reason I say no was because I knew I wasn't going to have as much time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want to say he was probably mid 140s ish, maybe
Okay.
something
Still a
along those
tremendous
lines.
buck for
still,
PA.
Still a
Good buck.
great buck. But yeah, I didn't think I'd have as much time, so I kind of wasn't 100% focused on him because, you know, the likelihood of me being able to get out there and actually kill him, I felt like I just didn't have that kind of time. Like my wife was pregnant at the time, everything, it was just kind of chaos. We just bought a house. It was like everything you could imagine during a deer season. It was, this is a lot going on. So my mindset was kind of like, if I get excited, I had a decent basket 8 on there. I was like, if he comes out, I'm killing him. You know what I mean? So that's kind of really all it was from last year.
And that was your first year hunting the property.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year.
Mm-hmm. Last year was my first.
Did you get any deer off that property last year? Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I shot my buck last year.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so 2 for 2.
And that was in November, right? Like
November 13th.
Yeah.
So
because that was the
Wow.
first.
It was late. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Because
late.
2B goes like an extra week.
It does.
in
Yes,
November.
yep.
Yeah.
But that 13th, if I remember correctly, that was one of those Sundays that they said you could.
Was that
Was
what
it the
is?
Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Because one of my best friends got married the 12th,
Okay.
and I was a groomsman, and I was like,
I would have told him no.
it was tough.
Told him no.
It was tough. But I
Over
still
these
went the
weddings.
next morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I still found the courage, you could say, to get myself out there. I remember
That takes
waking
a
up
lot.
being like, holy hell.
Like one
I
eye.
feel
Mhm.
terrible. Right
You
now.
walked to the stand. You just walked out of your house.
Listen, I've
Didn't
always,
drive or
Like
anything.
a blind man going through the woods. Your hands are out. You're feeling your way through.
I've always said one of the best places to sober up is up in a tree stand on a cold, crisp morning.
Mhm.
That
Very-
sounds terrible.
It's so nice.
The wind
It's
blowing,
so
you're
nice.
just rocking back and forth.
I would suggest, like a safer stand for that. 'Cause
Yeah.
when you shut your eyes and you put your head back, you just feel that cold breeze.
Get the spins.
And then bubble guts happens.
Oh,
yeah.
That's actually making me think of a story that kind of ties into that big buck, that 172 he shot in Ohio. What you guys want to touch on that? But that's a ridiculous story.
That's absolutely.
we can just like touch. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if
Well,
you may just.
Let's go right into
you
it.
said it now.
Well,
we
you want
have
to finish?
You
Why don't
can't
you just tell
say
them
it.
that part of the story and just and then you can get back to your buck.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about when they said that about being in your tree stand and dozing off.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. So
Try not to spoil it.
I was working in a parking garage. We were night shift. And I was like, you know what? I'll be fine working at 12 from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m.
And he's an electrician as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm like,
Yeah, clearly because he couldn't do the math. 12 hours, 9 p.m. to 4 a.m.
you get my point. Whatever it may be. Okay. I'm throwing numbers out here.
your brother's an electrician too. Show some
Exactly my point.
None of
You
us
didn't help
can
his
count. None of us
over
can
here.
count.
Sorry,
You didn't
Joe.
help his case, Joe.
Sorry.
I also said a quarter and not 2/8. So I can't read a tape measure either.
No, it's the same. It's just the way they do their stupid
Yeah,
measuring.
I know.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead, sorry.
long story short, get in my truck, drive to Ohio. I'm obviously exhausted. I'm like trying to
I
figure
haven't
out.
slept all night.
Yeah, trying to figure out like time frame wise. Like I'm like I think I'm gonna have like 2.5 hours before first light. So this kind of sounds like a recipe for disaster. But hey, screw it. Let's
So
do
you
it.
still got up early.
Well,
Well, he
He-
never
I
slept.
never slept.
Oh, you never slept
He
at
went
all.
from working night turn from Pittsburgh, drove, and this was like from Beaver County. It's like an hour and a half drive to Ohio,
Good for you,
where
bro.
our spot
Yeah.
was there. Yeah, so that was probably like almost 2 hour drive from there, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
So when my tree stand was set, I probably was up for like 19 hours or something insane. So I'm set, and that's when I was like, okay, I got about 2 hours probably before first light.
Get you a little power nap.
I'm gonna take a little nap.
Absolutely.
Great.
What kind of stand are you in?
That would have been my XOP at the time.
You took a nap in a lock-on stand?
Yes.
God freaking bless you.
Yeah.
See,
So-
I have not to cut you off. What I'll do if I'm going to do that and I'm sitting all day, I have one of those like old school, like when you buy a safety harness, it comes with that crappy like
It's-
2-inch belt.
It's supposed to go around the tree.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll literally put that around the tree in my chest and zip myself
It's
in.
not a bad call.
So
I,
I don't.
Not a bad
yeah,
call.
I would do the same thing.
That's what I'll do. If I know I'm getting tired, I'll just zip myself in there and
Yeah.
I'll just hang there with my head down.
So how did you sleep?
Anyway.
How'd that go?
I slept great.
He's a very deep
Very,
sleeper.
very deep sleeper. I was sleeping very good until I think my brain told my body that it was cutting off the circulation to my legs. So I woke up dangling. I rolled out.
No.
Didn't wake up.
And I would just look like if someone like walked through the woods.
You look
they're
like a Christmas
Oh my God, that
ornament."
guy like hung himself. And I'm just like dangling. So I wake up and I'm like, pretty calm. Actually, pretty calm. Like I may have yawned. I was like, I don't know, there's no wishing about now. And I remember like, I just kind of look up and I was like, that is so strange. my platform's above my head. And then it was like,
still dreaming.
holy shit,
Yeah.
you are hanging. So I start kicking around. I throw my legs around the tree, climb back up, and then I said, well, I'm here. I'm going to keep deer hunting. And
What time was this? 4 p.m.
Jesus.
it was still dark.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, wow, great, more darkness. I was hoping it would at least be light by now.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
This is why you wear a safety harness.
Yes,
That's
it is.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So ended up,
It was
yeah,
like
probably killing it.
4 hours later.
Yeah, so at that point, it was probably like 25 hours of maybe napping for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wear your safety harness.
Yeah. The buck
check.
walked out and you shot him.
Yes, sir.
Gee.
Called him.
Yeah.
And I was like, guess what? I killed him, but guess what? I also fell out of my tree stand. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, I know it sounds crazy. Yeah, I did get back in it and finish the set. But like,
Also had to leave my set that day to come help drag a deer out.
yeah.
That was like a really serious situation.
Oh, that
But
could have
all
been
I
really
can
bad.
think about
Could've
in
been,
my
yeah.
head is Joe saying you were a Christmas ornament.
I missed that comment. Like I heard it, but it didn't register because I was
Yeah.
And he did the shuffling motion.
Yeah.
Just like he did.
Yeah.
We need video podcast. That was
Oh.
great.
All right.
That does.
That
I
was a good story to be
It-
told. So
that
you
is
can
a
get back
story.
to the buck from this year, but
Wear
Yeah.
your safety harness.
yeah, wear your safety.
wear your
harness.
safety harness.
Take your
sleep.
extra tree strap that you always throw out and
Yeah.
strap yourself in if you're going to
Yeah.
take a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, you'll thank me later.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Or if you're going to be that tired, just hunt out of a climber because you could sleep all day in those things.
Yeah. Or to be safe, just sit on.
That too.
That too.
That too.
That too.
I'll tell you what, that fall system that
Oh,
Black Ash
Black
Outdoors.
Ash
Tree
sells.
stand wingman.
would have been nice. You would have woke up on the ground, just curled up right next to it, because when you fall, what it does is it just slowly just drops you down.
That's nice.
Yeah, those.
I'd have
things
woke
are-
up like, who put a blanket on me?
Yeah, tree stand wingman.
He
Right?
just rolled over.
yeah. He just kept rolling over like it's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels kind of nice.
You'd never shot that buck.
No. I
Even
wouldn't
the
have.
buck would have walked by and be like, why is this homeless man out here curled up?
What an idiot!
I should pee on him.
Goes over and mounts you.
That goes back to Taylor Chamberlain, the urban hunter
Yeah, I
down
know
in
Taylor
DC.
Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Remember, it got late outside and there was the frat boy. He called him
Oh,
frat boy
yeah.
Chad, sleeping out in the woods, drunk as fuck.
Really?
Yeah, dude, that was.
It
good.
got late outside and he heard a noise and he couldn't figure out what it was. And there was this frat boy literally
Yeah.
stumbled down into the woods.
Well,
from
they had
this
a party out in the woods. They had
Yeah.
a fire and stuff, and they left him. He passed out by the fire, got drunk, and they left him out there.
He was snoring.
He was snoring, and he didn't know what the noise was. It's this fucking fat kid squealing, right?
Honestly, kind of sounds like me a little bit. I fell asleep on a wooden pallet once.
Yeah, that was good. He ended
He
up
could sleep
shooting.
absolutely.
He ended up shooting a deer, and it like ran and almost. I think it jumped over him and like sprayed him with blood and everything. It's like crazy.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, good story. Good.
That guy's scarred for life.
It's like I'm never sleeping in the woods again.
Right. Oh man.
Oh, my
So
God.
getting back to this year.
Yeah, back on
Yeah.
track.
That was a good story, by the way.
I had to
glad you
I had to
shared
plug
that.
it.
Yeah.
So this year, all right, you have a buck. You
Mhm.
had him last year. You have
Mhm.
a property. To my understanding, you have a new baby
Mhm.
at home.
Yep.
And I guess run it down for us. Like, where did it start? How many times did you hunt after him? Like, break it down for us.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So honestly, I seen him. Let's see. I think I set my first camera out there mid-July. August, I started getting a ridiculous amount of pictures. I was sending him pictures
Mm-hmm.
constantly. And then, let's see. He kind of ghosted me for a little while. And then right around start of September-ish, I could start to pattern him pretty well.
Yeah, he was pretty active.
Yeah. I mean, I told him multiple times what I had noticed.
Daylight pictures.
Yeah,
too.
daylight pictures. With a north wind, like I kind of found the wagon wheel of trails, just where you find that deer highway.
Mm-hmm.
And plenty of sign. And what he would do is he'd shoot up this trail on a north wind, and you could bet your life savings if he went up, that following morning he'd come down. But then you might not see him for 2 days.
Okay.
Okay.
Just gone. But then you'd see him go up on a north wind, he'd come down every single time. It might be a 4-day gap between that, you know what I mean? But when you seen him go up, he was coming down.
The following morning.
Yeah, following morning. And for me, I think what that kind of sparked was like, what drives me insane is I'm like, you're there. Where are you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't leave.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you went up, you came down, and then you were gone for 4 days.
Is he bedded 10 feet away from your camera? Like,
Right.
Yeah. Like, that was instantly, my brain was like, that's what I thought of. Where are you? I know you're here. So then, yeah, I mean, pretty much season started. I same thing. I'd see him, a day here or there. He'd go up, he'd come down, and I was able to get out there. That opening morning, I was able to sneak out there. I didn't see him on my trail cam. I didn't see him shoot up or come down, but he could be skirting the camera. He could be, you know what I mean?
Never know.
Never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tried it. Nothing happened. I actually ended up seeing a decent 9. That's the one that I told you that busted me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that I hunted it one more time. So 2 total hunts, never seen him. And I called Joe and I was like, look, I've been wanting to get on that opposite side of that ridge for the longest time and really scout it out. I'm here. I'm getting down. I know he's here. Yet again, where the hell are you? That's kind of like the driving factor for me that just makes me want to get it done. So I start to work my way over to that opposite ridge and I bump a buck. Looked like a giant. And I'm like, he's on a point. Wind's perfect. Makes sense. So then there's a power line that's probably 60, 70 yards of head high jaggers. And I just see this trail just wrapping that. So I'm like, hey, the old saying, go where nobody wants to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who the hell wants to walk through 70 yards of head high jaggers? None of the friends of mine that I know. So went through. All of a sudden, this beautiful little patch opens up. I call him. I'm like, dude, there's 12 rubs, 11 rubs in there.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
And that was a white oak stand, too.
Yes, there were white oaks. I mean, that's the 2 things that stood out to me was right when I got in, you're like, okay, obviously you're walking through 70 yards of jaggers. Cover is ridiculous. You get in.
You bumped a buck.
Bumped a buck.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that sweet sound of,
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it's just raining them, dude.
and I'm like, oh, great. 11 rubs, oaks, crazy thicket, jumped a buck. All the signs point towards this location. So I have to give Joe a little bit of credit as far as, me killing that deer, because I knew that I wanted to obviously get into that spot because it's no different than November. You find fresh rubs, you find scrapes, you find sign, you hunt the sign, right? That's what we do. But it was, I'm trying to think here, 80 degrees?
It wasn't that warm. It was like 77.
77, 80
It was
degrees,
a warmer
something.
day.
It was warm. So
We had some warm days.
Yeah, we did.
I just,
along that streak.
you just don't think off the top of your head. I'm like, I don't foresee a crazy amount of movement in them as 80 degrees. You know what I mean? But wind was absolutely perfect. It was the picture perfect setup for me to get in there. Kind of. So when
Because you got there late. You went from work.
I went from work.
Yeah.
So when I got there, I wanted to get permission from the opposite person. That way I could access easier, but I didn't have it. So I'm trying to, do it the right way and stay on the property line that I had permission to be on. Long story short, I wrap it. I get to this power line. And what do I see in the center of the power line is this massive buck just walking through. And
At
I'm
like 4:30 in the afternoon.
At 4:30 in the afternoon.
on
And I'm
like
telling you, dude,
September
he says it
21st.
was 77 degrees. I'm telling you, it was every bit
Maybe it
80
was
degrees.
warmer, dude. It might
It
have
was
been.
hot as hell. And the first thing I think of is like, I unclick my stand. I start taking my shit off. I'm like, I may put a stalk on this buck and try to kill him because the wind's perfect. He's walking away. Maybe, it can happen. So I ended up just saying, don't do more damage than good. Stay back. Maybe he'll work his way back.
And that was a different buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I get into that flat where I wanted to set up. And the whole time I remember thinking to myself, like, I feel like this hunt is ruined.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, I know that, he didn't blow at me. He didn't see me. He, towards the end, started to like pick up his speed a little bit. You know what I mean? But nothing to the point where
He was just kind of startled, but he didn't know what.
Yeah, it just,
you were.
that
Yeah.
feeling of, you feel like.
Nobody wants to bump a buck when they're
No,
walking into their
you
tree
feel
stand.
like
Yeah.
this is ruined in a sense. But obviously it wasn't.
Do you have clean access going into this? Is it like, do you have good access or do you feel like you're ruining stuff when you're going in?
No, I don't feel like now it's going to be better because I have permission to access from
From the other side.
from
Yeah.
the other side.
Yeah.
Got permission.
That's
awesome.
That's going to
That
change.
night.
That's going to change. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. We'll
That-
get to that.
Seems like you needed it. Yeah.
that night. that's going to be a game changer. But before, I'd say you're kind of 50-50.
A little risky.
It's a little risky.
Yeah.
But that kind of honestly falls into my, like, I have kind of my 3 things that I try to follow. Be as scent free to my control as I can be. You know, whether it's, you know, I love the scent crusher bags. That's just something that I love. I think that ozone technology is amazing. I know some people say it's a bunch of bullshit, but for me,
it's science.
Yeah.
I love ozone, man.
Yeah. There's science behind it.
Yeah.
So that's one of them. The other one's play the wind, which all of us obviously do. And my third is be as aggressive as you possibly can be.
Yeah.
In a smart sense, because like my thing is that drives me absolutely insane is when someone will say, you know, I got 3 stands hung. I'm seeing deer at 60 yards, but they're not coming into me. Maybe in my next set, they'll work their way in. Next set comes, yeah, they were at 50, but still.
Yeah, get up and move.
And that's part of the reason I'm not for, you know, like, I don't want to say preset stands are a bad thing, but like
you
put so much time and effort into
there.
trimming lanes, hanging these stands and all these things that like you feel like you have to be there.
Yeah.
I fell into that trap when I first started bow hunting.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like,
I think we all did.
yeah. So that's part of like where that being aggressive comes into play for me is like, you can't be in the game unless you put yourself in the game. You know what I mean? You can't make something happen unless you're saying, you know what, I'd rather get blown at or get busted than to sit here and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That comes with
like
playing the wind and being as scent free as you can to your control.
And that was a ballsy move too. Like, I think at least, like, I don't know if I would have made that move that early in the season with that caliber of buck, and you do a speed scout that week and you go back out 2 days later after you bump a buck off a bed and you go in there and kill him. Like, a lot of people aren't going to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're going to play it safe. So like, it paid off. I mean, that's a gamble you take, but
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that
it obviously
every
works,
single
so.
time it's going to, you know what I mean, it'll play off. But like, yet again, you can't be in the game unless you put yourself in them. So
The real question is, how do you feel about that now?
Oh no, I'm
still
not.
feel the same
I'm
way?
not against it by any means. I'm not against it, but I'm just saying I feel like the majority of people would be conservative that early in the season
Playing
and
it
not
safe.
go walking around the property. You know what I mean? When you got a buck coming in almost every 3-4 days in one spot, I feel like people are just going to sit in that spot. You know what I mean? I don't think the majority of people are going to
Push farther
in.
Right.
You know,
I think it's a general consensus most people talk about is hunting the edges early, staying out, you know,
right.
observation sits,
Waiting for that time to strike.
Right.
yeah,
being
you know,
safe.
that's all good and great, but why
early
not
season's
get
a
in
great
there and
time
be
to
aggressive?
strike. Yeah, if you can find a food source, which you did.
You had him patterned
Mhm.
to your best ability.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, with as consistent as he was being, I don't see that being a bad move. But at the same time, I understand where Joe's coming
That's
from.
what I could see a lot of people saying like, hey, you see him every, say, 3rd or 4th day, yada, yada, yada. Like, just,
No, I give you
just
credit for that.
stay in this area. But like I said, going back to where the whole time I'm sitting there just saying to myself, like, I'm here, you're here. Where are you?
Yeah.
Because I'm here and you're not here.
And you're not.
And that's making me just, the wheels start turning. And I'm like, okay, I could just sit here in my tree stand and hope he walks by, or I could get my ass down, do some scouting, push in, be aggressive, and figure out truly where are you spending most of your time. And that's what I did. I mean, it was picture perfect. He came off that trail, every single rub, the rub lines were coming into it.
They're coming from the bedding into the oaks.
And 5:20, I shot him.
Yeah, it was early.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
And he just walked in like he owned the place and
Pretty much.
no care in the world.
Well, what was cool too is when he was sending me trail cam
Oh,
pics,
yeah. That is cool.
I noticed like the eye shine was missing on one. I'm like, dude, I think he's missing an eye. Because like all the trail cam pics, you know, when he was like head on, you can only see shine from one eye.
Yep.
I'm like, I think he's missing an eye.
Yeah, that was like the first thing I checked when I walked up on him.
Yeah.
Was I looked,
And he
'cause
was missing an eye. It was completely gone.
it was
No
his,
shit.
Yeah.
his right eye.
Which side did he come in from?
I mean, he came in straight on, but then whenever I shot him, he was looking at me with his bad eye.
With no eye at all.
He was
So you blindsided him.
pretty much.
Maybe I shouldn't have brought this up.
Freaking waylaid him.
I mean,
Poor thing.
hey, let me know if you guys would have shot him.
Welcome to the PETA podcast.
Well, here's the thing, too. I mean, who knows? Like it wasn't scarred or anything. So, like, I think it probably happened a while ago. I mean, unless
It wasn't
just,
scarred, but it was just white.
yeah, it was
Like
like
it was like
it's like it never existed.
Yeah.
Like it looked perfect other than there just wasn't an eye there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he did just fine surviving to get that big with one eye.
He got that old.
So
Yep.
the way I looked at it was like, okay, he's got one eye. He's going to be playing the wind even more. He's going to be using, you know what I mean? So
that deer's going to be harder to kill.
Yeah, deer's gonna be harder to kill.
Because he's using his other senses,
Exactly.
which are stronger than his eyes.
correct.
Yeah.
Right.
To survive that long and get that old. And
He's
get
not
that
going to
big.
make many mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you like keep calling him Potbelly, but you didn't think to like name him One Eye Willie or anything.
He
after
didn't-
you-
well, I just kind of brought it up at the time. I don't know if maybe you didn't believe me, or
Well-
you were just kind of like, maybe it's just
Well,
the
what-
camera.
what
didn't-
What happened
yeah.
was
Yeah.
the first few pictures I had of him, like I had seen it, but then not to rip on Tacticam, I was kind of like, is it the flash? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it something going on? Like
his head just turned.
yeah,
a
is
little
it something
bit?
weird? You
Yeah.
know, because
Yeah.
like you know how certain eyes glow and it's nighttime. Things get weird. But then it was another picture and same thing, and I was like, oh no. And I sent him the pictures. I personally didn't even think of it.
Yeah.
It didn't cross my mind.
Yeah.
I just in my head thought, oh, it's weird with the flash. But then when you get 7 pictures of him in every single picture, one eye goes off and one eye doesn't. You're kind of like,
Something's going
okay,
on.
something.
Yeah.
And he's the one that pointed it out. I mean, I give him that credit. I didn't
That's so
even
cool.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Just more character.
It's
Yeah.
it's one of those character things. Like
Mhm.
you'll get that mount back, and he's not
Exactly.
gonna have an eye.
Yeah, you got to leave
You
it.
know, it's
You
freaking,
gotta leave
yeah,
it.
hell yeah. You can't put an eye in there.
Put an eye patch on him or something.
Yeah.
That's the guy that I use. That's what he asked me. He's like, what do you want to do? He's like, I can pop an eye in there and make this thing. I said, I want to me, that adds character. Like he said,
Yeah.
I want it to
Want it
be
just the way he was.
as rugged and nasty as it was.
Get
that's
one
what
of
I want.
those, like, the old glasses with the little, like slinky eye.
like the Monopoly man.
The monocle on
Not
it.
the monocle.
Wait, what's the do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Was that Ace Ventura? You must be the Monopoly guy.
Oh man.
That's cool. So early on, 520, you said
Mhm.
something like that.
Yep.
You just come right in. What kind of shot did he give you?
He was slightly quartering away. I mean, I smoked him.
What
Yeah.
yardage?
He was 20 yards.
20 yards.
Oh,
Wow.
Now, funny thing is, I was telling him, body language wise, at first, it looked like he was starting to head towards the power line and work his way, away from me. And that was 32 yards. I practice at, 30, 40. I feel comfortable, but like, I really wanted to just stay composed and don't rush it. I feel like too many people are like, oh my goodness, this is my only opportunity. I got to do it right now.
He's gonna get
fast.
away.
He's going to get away. And
Yeah.
it's like, and I get it. It's a mature buck, especially at that caliber. You don't want to miss an opportunity, but I also don't want to hit him in the shoulder or wound that deer. So I waited patiently. I mean, he was grazing for 15 minutes probably.
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah. I mean, I just truly waited for like the perfect opportunity. And I mean, he ran about 115 yards, 110 yards. something like
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for 15 minutes, how'd you keep your composure? Did you look at the antlers? Did
I
you-
wanted to ask that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I obviously knew it was him.
Okay. So right off the bat, you.
I knew 110%.
Yeah.
I mean, right when I glanced left, I just seen him walk in and I was like,
He was winking at you.
I said, I know. Yeah. Take my strong hand.
Quit winking at me,
I knew.
pot belly.
Yeah, I knew it was him. That 15 minutes at first, I was making sure, like I have a little routine where like I'm getting ready to shoot. I check my feet, make sure my feet are in the same spot the way I practice and things of that nature. So I looked at my feet, make sure they're good. And I just see the laces
Oh.
bouncing a little bit.
You start getting the crazy
And
legs.
I said, Brandon, we ain't going to do all this now.
You listen here now, boy.
So we ain't going to do all this. We're going to regain composure. Just like
We gotta keep our
this,
composure.
this is a little,
Nobody freak out.
this is a little side note. And I used to get made fun of for this
Greatest movie of
from
all
my
time.
buddies. And I think it's a hell of a practice drill. Is I would shoot behind the Monaca High School and I would set my bow at 20 yards.
Monica.
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 She owns a high school.
Little Monica.
So
Doing good for
It's
herself.
always there.
I'd set my bow at 20 yards and I'd set my deer target out there, right? I would run suicide
Like an absolute
Oh,
psycho.
damn.
up and back to my target, back to my bow, target, back to my bow. And then I'd pick up my bow and draw it. What do you think happens?
You're rock solid.
100%.
You're
Yeah.
out of breath. You're feeling all overwhelmed. It's buck fever. So
Yeah.
to I have, to do that over and over and over and over again to try to train myself to like take 3 deep breaths. I just have a process that I go through. So
he's got this like weird uncanny ability to stay like cool as ice in these situations where I used to be that way, and for some reason now I just fall apart. And I'm trying desperately to get back to it.
It will happen.
I think part of that too just comes with your preparation. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What are you willing to do? Like, how far are you willing to take it? Like I said, I mean, anybody that looks in a field and sees a crazy jackass running suicides, picking up a bow and shooting at a target, it's going to be like, what is that insane person doing?
I'm glad I called that guy.
Like, what is he doing? But like, that's why when I seen the laces shaking, I was like, look, mentally, I'm like, this isn't new. You know what I mean? Don't look at the rack. You know who it is. Yep. Look at the body. Yeah. Forget all the this and that. You train for these moments. It's muscle memory. And that was part of, I think, what contributes to me being so patient is you put Joe Schmo out there and they see this insane buck at 32 yards. I bet you somebody takes that shot.
Yeah.
Versus, what's he doing? Is his head down? Does he seem alert at all? He had no clue I was there. Wind was in my face. It was absolutely perfect. So I said, do not rush this. Let him graze. Let him do his thing. This is his territory. He knows where he's at. And that's what I did. I just waited patiently, waited for the opportunity. And I knew when I shot, I actually got it on video, but I knew when I shot that he was done.
That's some strong will, bro. Honestly, man.
Archery related, man. I truly,
you practice a lot.
I love it. And I really take
practice a lot.
I take pride in it.
Yeah, I
do. You know what I mean? Because it's hard. It's really hard. And in those moments, it's hard. And unless you prepare for those moments, and you can never, everybody, I've had moments where I shot a doe and I was shaking more than when I shot a buck.
Oh, totally.
It doesn't make sense. It's just your body's going to react. But when your body reacts and you start to freak out and you get excited, when you practice those moments, you have a system to say, wait a minute now. This is why we ran 100 suicides in a week. Let's hone it back in. Get your breath, check your feet, make sure everything is exactly the way it is when you practice. And I was able to stay calm, cool, and collective and get the job done.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I think that comes with a lot of experience too, though. Yeah. There's a combination of those things, preparation, experience. You got to keep the cool or else you're just going
100% on the experience part.
Yeah. And it's weird. There's never been, people that don't have, I guess, bucks that they have like this intimate thing with, like they know them, they've named them.
Yeah.
And when they first come in, it's a totally different feeling.
Different feeling.
It's really weird. Like it'll get you jacked up way more than just you're sitting on a rut stand and a random big buck comes in.
Yeah.
110%. Because you've invested so much time into them. And I get it. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I had been following them for a year and a half. There's people who'll tell you a story. They've been seeing us for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't relate to that type of
long enough with a buck
level.
That big.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But 100%.
Yeah. It's weird.
The experience thing is huge. That's like
it's not the first time you've done it on a big buck.
No.
Too.
That's what I mean. Having the experience on other deer, killing other deer, and it helps.
That's what I tell my buddies. Like I have a few friends that because they buy Sitka, they're going to kill big bucks. Like these.
You didn't know that was a thing.
These, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff.
No.
And I try to tell them, I'm like, look, I get that the goal for everybody is to kill a buck, right? That's the goal if you're archery hunting. I said, but you need to kill deer.
Yep.
Not, I need to shoot a 140, 10
you need to kill deer to
learn
learn
how
to
to
kill deer, which makes perfect sense.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you can't just start hunting and just go
looking
buck
back
hunting.
11 years ago when I started and I seen a doe, I was shaking like a leaf.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know how to control myself. I'm like, is this it? I'm going to get backstrapped? It's going to happen.
Oh my God, it's in.
This $14 arrow from Walmart, it's about to happen. My knock's busted.
Send it. Rage in the cage, baby. Send it.
I got you good there, didn't I?
Little McLovin.
Yeah.
I caught that.
Yeah, I did too. Like you said from earlier, it registered just now. And he said, oh my God, it's in.
I'm good for the movie quotes.
Yeah,
on the White Tail episode.
I started choking.
That just dawned on me.
That was perfect. Comedy's all about timing.
It is.
Dude, didn't you piss your pants? Dude, that was like 8 years ago. People don't forget.
If I ever eat my lunch by myself like Steven Glansberg.
Still use that quote quite often.
All the time.
Quite often.
But yeah,
You got to
like
kill deer.
You got to kill deer to learn
Yep.
how to kill deer.
Yep. Yeah, I don't understand the people that just want to go out and I just want to shoot a big buck. Well, I mean, I get where their mindset is. They see it on TV. They see that's what people want to show on.
That's the
their
first
YouTube
problem.
channel, you know?
That's the first problem.
Yeah,
100%.
It's like, shit, I'll shoot a ton of doe with my bow. I don't give a rat's ass. Like I love shooting deer.
I
with
feel
my
like
bow.
too, every hunter has probably gone through that like savage moment.
Oh, yeah.
There's progression.
Like I had a season, I think it was 2017, I think, or maybe I shot 5 does, and like looking back, maybe a bit much.
I disagree.
You know, I don't know anymore now.
I disagree.
I think like my
I've
third
shot
season
5
of deer
plenty
hunting,
of
I shot
seasons.
9 deer in a season, and I was like, "This is out of control."
yeah.
I just
like, this
feel
is
like
ridiculous.
like everybody
Our
goes.
uncle for like years, he would shoot like 10 deer, 13 deer. I mean, he just pile them up.
Mhm.
I mean, that's just he just loves hunting deer. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about rack size. And I mean, like he obviously isn't going to shoot like a baby immature buck, but like he shoots a basket 8. He's happy as could be. And like I was just texting your brother about this today. Like we were talking and stuff because like about the buck I shot a couple days ago. Like like 6 years ago, I would have been like, and I'm still really happy that I shot that buck because I've been on a dry spell for the last 4 years. I just keep screwing it up. But I'm like, I shot that buck, and then like I catch myself thinking like, well, I had bigger ones on camera. It's like, you know what? That's just complete. This whole big buck, I got to kill massive bucks all the time. It's completely like ruining hunting almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like taking away from the sport.
Dude, I just don't care anymore. If they work me up,
Exactly.
it's over, bro.
Exactly.
Took
Like I had a great hunt.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. I had a great hunt. I got excited. It was beautiful. It was a perfect shot. Like, I was ecstatic. I was super happy. And then I just catch
Absolutely.
myself thinking like, oh, well, I had bigger ones on camera. Like, who cares? You know what I
Nobody
mean?
cares.
Yeah.
It takes away from the sport.
100,
And there's nothing
110%.
wrong either with with going after big bucks either. But like, you're not just like some big buck. Like you've shot really nice
Dude,
bucks.
I will be the first to tell you that.
But you're not going to pass up like a decent.
Have I seen a legal buck say he had a 15-inch spread to where I was like, I don't know. I mean, like, there's a fine line of like what I'm willing to shoot and not willing to shoot. But at the same time, if I get excited and he's a decent little looking 8-point, he's gonna die.
Like
You
the
better
buck-
hope I don't get these limbs back, bro.
He's gonna die.
It's
not.
time.
It doesn't have. Like he said.
I think that's important too.
It's too.
like it's
Yeah.
There's more to it than just shooting massive bucks. And,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Way.
Taking a picture with every piece of gear you own in front of it.
I think for me personally,
Don't do
I
Don't say
think
that.
You don't do that?
No, I don't
Oh,
do that.
okay.
I think for me too.
You get what I'm
is
saying.
is
Dead
more.
downwind.
Yeah, exactly.
What I think for me, honestly, sometimes that is more important than the numbers is the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I
100%,
mean? Like
man.
people, oh yeah, 110-inch buck, nice buck, man. Really, they're thinking, oh, you shot this little. You don't know the work, the time,
Yep.
the effort,
No.
the scouting, the this, the that I put in for this deer.
That you just got married, you had a child, and you bought a house. Like,
Yeah, like you have no idea the amount of sacrifice. It just simply in that term of like finding time.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, truthfully, it's a whole different ballgame when all those things, especially the kids come into play. It's a completely different animal. of
And to take it back
finding
a step
time.
further, you also have to have the property with a deer that big on it.
Mhm.
And that doesn't come around every so often,
Yeah.
man. And you have to have the permission on it.
Mhm.
Or, I mean, think about how many people out there that they see a big deer and they won't even go ask permission on the property because they're scared.
Yep.
It takes a lot of work to get permission,
Takes some-
keep permission, to keep that property in and just not blow the property out. I mean, everything that goes into it, man.
The
It's
biggest
tough.
thing with that is maintaining that relationship.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you just went and took that guy a bunch of meat.
yeah, like it's real easy to say, walk up with a suit on and be like, "Hi, my name's Brandon. I'm the greatest kid on the face of the earth.
What are you,
I'll
a Mormon?
be super nice."
I was just thinking.
You get
Can I read you a verse from the Bible?
the point.
I could tell you about the good news of whitetail hunting.
The point that I'm getting at is a lot of people I feel like will get permission and then thank you, and then I'm just going to start hunting.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, the reason that you're even there is for these nice people to just say, yes, you can. And whether they own it or it's access to a piece of property or what have you, but maintaining that relationship is massive.
Totally.
Oh, 100%.
And the guy that, where I hunt, I just took him a pack of deer dogs. He gave me deer hot sausage, and he was like, hey, I'm going up to Butler if you want to come up and camp with us, and we just shoot a bunch of shit and hang out and drink and eat, deer meat and whatever. So like right there, right out of the gate, you're like, I mean,
Sounds awesome.
that's a great, shoot guns and just eat deer meat. Like it sounds like a good time.
Sounds like a great time.
But that's a solid relationship. I mean, when I was leaving, he was like, see you next year. And I was like,
Yes, sir.
I'll see you next year. I'll see you
Right.
next year.
Yeah.
Damn right you will.
And I'm not trying to knock the guys that there's nothing wrong with guys that just want to hunt mature deer, but I think for the people that are just trying to start to get into hunting, it kind of ruins them a little bit because there's a standard of this is what you have to do. And if they don't meet it, you know what I mean? It's just like
They get discouraged.
they get discouraged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge
I
pet
think that's
peeve
the
of
point I
mine.
was trying to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I also think people that are getting into it start with watching the Outdoor Channel.
Yeah, I mean, we
then-
talked about that the first episode I was on,
And then
on a
you
tangent
see
about
these bucks that the bone collectors are killing, and you're like, oh, wow, I shot a buck. It was 90 inches. Like nothing like there.
Bro, I've
It's
killed
not.
a pile of 90 inches.
It's not. It's not.
that's my bread and butter right there.
I'm just throwing a number. It's not. It's not what
Yeah.
it's about.
Yeah.
It's about getting out there, and you see one that gets you excited, kill it and be proud of it.
Totally.
And
And the other thing is, you just took the animal's life, so you owe it respect. To,
100%.
Yeah.
yeah,
100%.
not feel like, oh, well, this was a waste. You
No,
know?
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to come a time in your hunting career, if you will, that you're going to get to a point where if you shoot enough shit and you're mature enough to the point where you choose to hunt bigger, mature deer because you now are more focused on age structure of the deer that you chase rather than antler size and whatnot.
Right. And that's important too. You don't want to shoot a bunch of young deer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you do, that's fine. If that's
Right.
all you want to do, I know people that,
There's plenty of
will-
deer running around.
Yeah,
you know.
they'll pride themselves on, I've shot a buck in Pennsylvania for 18 years in a row. None of their bucks are over 100 inches. That's fine. If you want to shoot 18,
Yeah.
90-inch bucks and that's what makes you happy, by all means, I'm never going to down that guy. But what pisses me off is when you see the guys that just getting into it, they're like adult onset hunters, and they shoot, a barely legal 6-point. And it's like, not the biggest buck ever. Or I get it a lot. Like guys will say, hey, this is not as big as the buck you shot, but look at this one. I'm like, listen, you got to stop right there. Like you can't start off with that.
Right.
Don't compare what you do to what I do.
Exactly, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. And social
You know.
media has a huge effect on that.
Oh,
I
totally.
mean,
Huge.
you can't pull up Facebook right now if you're a hunter without seeing bucks all over the place that people are
Yeah.
killing.
All over
Yeah.
the
I mean,
place.
this whole week it's just blown
It's been
up. You know what I
freaking
mean?
insane,
It's been
yeah.
nuts. So
Yeah.
you're just comparing, and you get easily discouraged. Oh, well, why didn't you want as big as that guy? And that was the point I was trying to make. Is that it just takes away from it.
Yeah.
Takes away from the animal, the life you just took, and it's just not right.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, that's
Yep.
And going off what
Whatever
you
that's
said,
worth.
not to mention too the people that are just like, I just want to fill a freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people just want,
Some people need
Good
the meat.
for you,
just,
man.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
They
just,
need that meat.
Yeah.
hey,
They
he
want it
was
for the
legal.
Family.
I got meat in the freezer. I can feed my family.
I got limited time.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody has different reasons
Yeah.
why they hunt, and that's
Yeah.
completely fine.
Totally.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
I would just tell those people, learn how to do this yourself because, man, is it expensive to give a deer to a butcher right now. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah.
Crazy expensive.
Oh yeah,
It almost makes hunting not worth it in some sense. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
all you put in and then you got to go drop another $150 to give your deer to,
Yeah.
and it could be a 60
Depends
pound
who you know.
freaking deer.
Yeah.
I get that too, but like,
Yeah.
man, I'd rather just do it myself.
Yeah.
Learn it. That's
Yeah.
if you're going to learn
Oh,
everything
yeah.
else there is to hunting.
oh we did it.
Learn
for
how to process.
quite some time.
I still have in
Yeah.
Yeah.
my shed, I have my grinder, freezer wrap. I mean, the whole setup.
Oh, yeah.
Like I got everything.
It's the way to go, man.
I'm not going to lie to you. Honestly, the last few years, I've just been too lazy. If I'm being
Listen.
100% honest,
You're honest,
the
man.
moment happens and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
$100.
Well, we found a really good
Mm.
butcher, and we'd be getting this
Yeah.
specialty meat made, like
Yeah.
deer hot
Yeah,
dogs.
he was talking about the deer dog.
Yeah.
That sounds
Well,
amazing.
that's
hot dog.
totally
The day-
different.
Greatest hot dog you ever had.
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
life.
What
That-
butcher is this?
Kips.
Kips.
and
And
Carnegie. Yeah,
Really?
Carnegie's Drive.
They will do.
dude, it's worth it.
So you
I
can
have
get.
Worth it.
Let me see
Good.
here.
You can let
do-
me know. I can get it out to Carnegie anytime. We have a branch out that way.
We need some freaking deer dogs.
Dude, I want deer dogs in a bad way.
I just had,
and that's different. I will take my
It's
meat
worth
to
it.
them.
It's
to make
worth
that
It's
for 'em.
incredible. Truthfully, it's incredible. I mean, you can do.
That's when we stopped butchering our own.
Yeah.
Like our one friend,
Yeah.
Matt Bradford, that we hunting with, he went there because he was living.
Matt Bradford?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you know Matt. You play softball with him. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Matt Bradford?
You play softball with Matt?
Big Dick Matt? Yes, I do.
I play with Matt.
That's Big Dick Matt. Yeah,
I
he
play-
earned that nickname when we were playing in the. Was it the playoff? We were in a playoff game, I believe, and he hit a walk off home run to win and advance us to the next round.
Yeah, that's Matt.
And from that time on, he was Big Dick Matt. And
Yeah.
I changed his name personally in the Messenger group page. Yeah.
Yeah. I play with him in for St. Ferdinand.
Which league? Is that New Galley?
No, it's in
Different
Morndale.
one.
Warren-
Okay, different one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know he's in like
He's a softball
18
whore.
leagues.
He's a softball whore.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
is.
know.
Yeah. Matty B.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, he went there the first time and he brought those deer dogs to rifle camp, and
Mhm.
we were like, "These are phenomenal." So then, like, we shot a deer that year, and like me and you split one, or me and
Mhm.
Dad split one, and that's like that buck he shot, we split that.
I called him.
Yeah,
So I
I got deer dogs and
I
deer
got like
kibasi made.
I had like a
Nice job.
Dude, it's
four-way
phenomenal.
text going. It was like Joe's gonna get 8 packs of dogs, 4 packs of kibasi, 1 trail sausage. Dad's gonna get, and then her dad, my wife's dad, was like, "Hey, them dogs,
Them dogs.
best dog I ever had."
Dude, they are
That
the
buck you
greatest hot
killed,
dog
dude.
ever.
Shit.
He was like, "You're not
Not exaggerating.
getting dogs done with that buck, are you?" I was like, "Well, coincidentally, I am." He's like, "How about I
You paying?
pitch in on it?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can do. Let me see here. You can do. Deer dogs can be jalapeno and cheese, standard
Oh.
cheese.
I think there's a garlic one too.
Kibasi, same thing. Cheese, jalapeno cheese. The trail is. I like to just slice it real fine and make like trail sandwiches.
Like
Yeah.
a trail bologna.
Fry it
Like,
up a little bit.
oh,
And that
shit.
like to substitute sausage for breakfast. If you have
It's
eggs
expensive,
and, like,
but it's worth it because we never do it without splitting it, so it makes it a little more feasible. But
Yeah.
I will definitely say if I dropped that buck off and they said this is your total, I would not want to pay for it by myself.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll say that much.
Okay.
Well, when you get into the specialties,
yeah, you expect that.
Right
you
out
can
of the
expect
You
it.
expect that.
But-
but you eat it like I notice I'll eat it way more than like if I butchered it myself and I have a ton of ground in the freezer
Uh-huh.
and some steaks. Like
Yep.
I'm eating it more, and
Yeah.
that's the whole point. You don't want to just sit in the freezer and like
100%.
next year rolls around and it's freezer burned some of your meat. Like that doesn't make it till next season. Like I'll eat that. That goes
Yeah.
fast.
It hits grilling season and it's
Yeah.
on.
Oh yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
But the nice thing that they do is if you take a deer there and say I'm getting all specialty, they take $60 off.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And you got to remember too, like the price of my buck weighing 200 pounds field dressed it's going to be a lot different than you take a doe there and
Right.
say, hey,
Right.
you want to split it? You know, it's going to be a drastically different
Definitely.
price.
Sure.
Definitely.
But I'm telling you, I'd give it a shot.
Mhm.
You guys are gonna have to find out for me if I can just bring a whole bunch of like already processed chunks of deer that I'm going to grind. Just bring it to them. Be like, here's my bags of deer meat
I'm
that
sure
are
they
frozen.
would.
Yeah, I wouldn't
don't
be
just
surprised.
process
I
this
don't
and make
know
specialty.
if they'd cut you a break on it or not.
I would
think.
imagine because they don't have to
Less
actually.
work.
I mean,
yeah, they don't have to do the deer. They don't have
Yeah,
to cut
unless
the
they're
deer,
really
do
like
everything.
trying to rip you off. But
Right.
Honestly, they
seem
seem
grinder.
they take care of you.
it's a good place.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. They're very reasonable. I had those
We should get a discount for plugging them on the show, though.
One more
Yeah.
time. Throw
Yeah.
them out there again.
Kips.
Kips.
Deer
Kips
processing,
processing.
Carnegie, Pennsylvania.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor of the
Yet.
show.
Yet.
Maybe we should reach out. You know?
But-
I'm about to.
but a couple free T-shirts would be nice.
Get you a couple T-shirts, maybe a couple keychains.
That's cool, man. And you know, if that's what you're going to be doing, by all means, I'm 100% in. I'm actually about to give some meat to a buddy of mine that's down that way, and he's bringing it somewhere, and they're getting a bunch of jerky made and doing all kinds of cool stuff. with
Bunch
it.
of
So,
dogs made, bro.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, like I was saying, the guy
You
that gave
couple
me
dogs.
he gave me that deer hot sausage.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have had. I've never had
I've
deer
never
hot
had-
sausage.
I've
Oh,
never
I
had-
have.
It's pretty good.
I was blown away. I just
Depends
made.
where it's made.
I made just like burger patties. Like I made like legit
Oh, yeah.
little sausage patties.
Yeah.
And I gave one. That was dinner.
Yeah.
She was like, "What is this?" Deer meat. She's like, "What?" I never would have guessed. I was like, it was fantastic. I bet you Kips, I guarantee you they do.
Dude, I'd be growing up some peppers and onions, a little bit of freaking mustard
The
on
first thing
there.
I thought of when he gave it to me was like actually doing like stuffed peppers. Like,
Oh, that'd be good too.
yeah.
That'd be real good.
Dude.
I can't remember. I think actually that's exactly what we did. We did stuffed peppers with the Italian. It was like a hot Italian blend. I get a lot of my stuff from Con Jaeger and do a lot of my own mixes and different stuff. And we had one bag left of the hot Italian sausage or whatever it was. And we did stuffed peppers. It was the best stuffed peppers I've ever had. Like, It was so freaking good.
Yep.
Must have been the pepper.
Not a big fan. Not a big fan
the pepper.
of the pepper.
Where do you get your peppers? Is it Aldi?
That might have been a giant eagle pepper. I might have spent a couple extra
Big Bird.
bucks. You know?
Big Bird.
Splurged a little bit on peppers.
Yeah, you got to go big or go home on the peppers.
All these peppers.
All these pepper nuts.
Not a sponsor.
No, but hilarious. So, boys, we got way off track there. We have a lot more to cover.
I'm stoked that we went that way though, because I learned something. I'm getting some freaking deer dogs.
I've heard of the deer dogs. I've heard a lot of people doing deer dogs.
never
I've heard
heard
good
about
things.
this.
You will
The legends are
forever want more deer dogs.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I would love that
Good.
deer dog. And you know what? I will touch on this real quick. It is worth it. I know it's expensive, like you guys mentioned, but if you've ever done like sausage or deer sticks or anything that on your own, that is a shit ton of work.
Oh, it is.
It is not
It is.
worth it to do it myself. I'll be
Yeah.
honest, because we've done it ourselves.
Yeah.
One, it's never as good. It's never as good.
No.
And although my brother did recently come up with a really good recipe, and it's the last one he did for the Killing Grill. I don't know if you had that. Fucking phenomenal. But
It's like a sandwich, bro. It's always better when somebody makes it. Somebody else
100%.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. Spend the money. If you're going to spend the money, spend the money.
I will say I have a very good backstrap recipe.
Okay.
So, I mean, steak in general, like I make sure, I'll kind of like put small fillet cuts into it just so everything can soak into the meat. But I will base the whole backstrap in honey.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that honey will kind of like caramelize to like a glaze, right? So I'll put it on the grill, top shelf, real low. Let it go for,
Low and slow.
30, 40 minutes. Pull it off. Then I'll start to make up some bacon. Then I'll put bacon, wrap the whole thing in bacon, put toothpicks through it, put it back on there. When you pull it off, the way the honey and the bacon kind of like caramelize together, it's
like meat candy.
oh my goodness. It's fantastic.
Dude, that sounds great.
It's fantastic.
There was a turkey recipe shared with me that's pretty similar to that as well that Adayam Rehar shared with me. It's pretty good. Basically, you take the same thing, like a little piece of turkey breast, wrap it up in bacon and honey, and then you glaze it in honey. You cook it for a little bit, then you take it and you brown sugar. I know I brought up the T word.
We talking about turkeys now?
You don't gut me. But
I don't have mine on me.
I'm just saying, and there's brown sugar. It's brown sugar. You wrap it in bacon, and then you dip it in, like, glaze it in honey, dip it in brown sugar, put it in the oven for a little while, take it out, glaze it in honey again, and then put it back in. Dude, I'm telling you, the way it caramelizes, like you're saying, it's really freaking good. So I can imagine that would deer meat even better.
It's something special.
Because, boy,
It's good, man.
Sounds excellent.
yeah.
I'm actually, it's
I'm
making
so
me hungry.
hungry.
I know.
It's making me hungry.
I'm big on a good recipe of deer recipes, man. I've been trying to do a couple different marinades and whatnot lately.
You got a solid turkey marinade. I'm just going to say
Yeah.
that.
I feel like Worcestershire is a good go-to.
Wash your sister sauce.
Yeah.
I never know how to pronounce it. Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Hey, can you pass me that bottle of Worcestershire? You're like, what did he say? Never mind.
Where's your
I'll get it
sister?
myself.
Sound like the neighbor from Joe Dirt.
Yes, she ain't.
Damn, boy, you ladies don't go.
Oh, damn, boy, you got a date.
I like to see how much naked.
That's
Get
cool.
you-
Don't
get you-
have me much.
Well, man.
It's Kyoto.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you that guy that had that encounter with Buffalo Bob? Didn't he shove a road flare up a bunghole? What? Nothing happened.
Ooh, raw.
Dang.
Get you a wham burger and some French fries.
All right. We're getting off.
right.
We're getting off the rails.
All right, we're getting Western. Let's get Western. Okay, because the next trip is the Western trip.
The Western trip.
You boys,
First week
two
of
of you,
October. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
headed out west.
Who got the wild hair up their ass first?
Yeah, who said we're going to go west and we're going to go antelope hunting?
This was our third year there.
Oh, shit.
Not in a row, but we'd been there twice
time.
before.
Okay.
And they had some bad winters and over hunting. The first 2 years we went, we drew with no preference points.
Yeah.
And then obviously a lot of people knew about that. They got slammed.
Yeah.
A couple bad winters. So this time it took us 3 years to draw a preference point for the same unit.
Yeah.
Pretty
and
insane.
it's not a trophy unit. A lot of the ground and not a lot of people really want to hunt there because a lot of the public land is landlocked. So unless you're going with a guide, it's pretty difficult on public. There's tons of public. It's all landlocked. There's enough to hunt.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're
You
going.
need an air glider or a helicopter. To get.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So we know the area. We've been out there twice before. It's kind of like a tradition. This was by far the most memorable trip we've had out there. I mean, it was just-
110%.
everything was just awesome. We only drew buck tags, and I think that's why this trip was kind of more memorable because we got to go do a bunch of different things. Where before we always had buck and doe tags, and the whole week was spent hunting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we had more time this year to go check out different things, and it was awesome, and we had a great time.
Chicago's a great city to check out different things, man. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, we tried to skirt Chicago because
Yeah.
the traffic's terrible.
Always skirt
Right,
Chicago.
right,
Not
right.
only that, the tolls are ridiculous.
Yeah.
You pay a toll
Dude,
for every
the first
20 feet
time
you
that
drive.
we went, remember when we drove through Chicago?
white
I was
knuckling it.
freaking out.
Yeah.
I was freaking out, man.
Dude, I
Freaking out,
wanted to
man.
fight like 13 people. All I know is I'm driving. I'm like, hey, this ain't too bad. I merge and I'm like, oh my God, there's 7 lanes. And then it was like, 65. I'm doing a 60. Dude drives by. He's like, get the fuck out of the way.
People doing 90 and a 65.
Dude,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
60 and a 65 or 7 lanes. I'm freaking out. He's like napping. I'm like, wake up. I'm like, I need you to calm me down because I'm pulling over. I'm freaking out. I can't do it. I'm like, we got 2 hours to get through Chicago. I'm going to need you to take over.
Oh, that's great. So where did you head? What state was it?
Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wyoming antelope.
Mhm.
You're heading west. October. It's deer
24-hour
season.
drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We break
Pretty
it up.
brutal.
We always stop in
Yeah.
South Dakota, and it was actually kind of funny. Like we were like, we'll stop at that same motel, this real old rundown hotel. It's owned by 2 older people, and we stopped there the last time we were there, like 3-4 years ago.
Well, should we shout them out?
Yes.
A Bar Z Motel.
A Bar Z Motel in White Lake, South Dakota.
Yes.
And so I call them and we're like, all right, that's where we're going to stop. So we call the people like, this is where we're looking, we can get there around this time, yada, yada, yada. They're like, okay, what's your name? I tell them the name. They're like, were you here before? I was like, oh my God, how do you remember?
You
us?
remember me.
Yeah, this was 4 years ago. Like that's
Well,
how
they've
many.
had 6 people since
That's
4
how
years.
many people. Yeah, that's how many people go to this motel.
You were one
They
of
remembered
6.
they remembered us.
It sounds awesome.
You're still on the same page that they write your name down.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You had room 24. Do you want that one again?
Oh my gosh,
Seats
it was
taken.
hilarious. Like I was like,
steak.
I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Can't sit here.
Oh man,
So they legitimately remembered you guys.
Jilly remembered us.
awesome.
100%.
Yep, over the phone,
Yeah.
just by our name.
Yeah, because we were just driving. And she's like,
Yeah.
Marcello. That's were you guys here a few years ago? We were like, holy shit. Yeah, we were.
And they're older couple too, so kudos to them for remembering.
Yeah.
She's like,
Oh, sharp.
once you guys get here, we'll fluff your pillows for you. Make sure it's real nice and cozy.
Housekeeping.
Oh,
You want me to
man.
fluff your pillow?
Remember when we messed up and set
You want me to
the
suck you off?
we set the wall unit to like 82 degrees?
Oh well, that first year we went, it was freezing, and yeah, we like blasted the floor heaters in there. And
I woke up, thought I was in hell. I was like, what is happening?
It was so bad.
I don't know if I pissed myself or if I'm just sweating.
The last hotel we stayed in, it was like 12 degrees outside, and our heater broke
It
in
didn't
the middle
work.
of the night.
Oh, that's tough.
It was so freaking cold, dude.
Tough.
So cool. The guy has to come in and replace it, and he's literally pulls the entire. He's like, "Look, I could fix this, but I just got a brand new unit, and if you don't mind, it takes me like 30 minutes. I'll replace this unit for you." And we're like, "Yeah, dude, whatever you got to do." And now, mind you, we're fully covered in our freaking hunting clothes.
Seeing your breath.
Yeah, like under the blanket. So yeah, do whatever you got to do. And he pulls this thing off, and it's like a straight hole in the wall.
just straight outside. It's like a wind tunnel.
Air just coming in. It's like negative 20 out that night. We're like, this is great.
Charles is like, still focused on it. We're watching Batman.
Yeah. Just keep watching.
Oh man,
Good times. Good
yeah.
times.
So anyway, stopped there. Was it like 16, 17 hours,
16 hours,
basically,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
finished
Oh,
it
it's a
off.
drive
Finished it
out
off
there,
the
yeah.
next day, and I always like get all antsy when we get there, and I'm like, all right, dude, why don't we like pull over and like put our hunting clothes on before we get into our unit? This way, if we see a buck, we can, you know, put a stalk on. 'Cause that's what we did the last time we were there, and I shot a buck like we weren't even there for a full day.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we're not doing that. And I'm like, and like I kept bringing it up like 4 or 5 times throughout the drive, trying to break him down. And he was like, no, we're just gonna go. We're gonna take our time. We're gonna get to the motel, which is the right move to do.
Listen, little backstory. The first year we went, we had been driving out. I remember specifically, we were like, it just like a light bulb went off. We were like, oh shit, you can hunt Sunday.
Well, yeah.
It like clicked, you know.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, so
Not
we get,
used to that.
you know what I mean? We just,
Because
just
we never get there on
Yeah.
is
It
that opening
feels
day or
illegal.
Saturday's opening day. We get there usually a day after opening day.
yeah, Saturday.
Yeah. No, we get there on Sunday.
I'm saying, yeah, we get there
Saturday's
Sunday.
opening day.
Yeah, Saturday's opening day.
Yeah.
But the first year we went, we like, yeah, we get there Sunday, put our shit on, get out there, start going crazy. You know, we're like 4 miles out doing our thing. And then we get back and I'm like,
Absolute zombie.
I'm going to die because your head, like altitude, elevation change, everything, you know, you
Yep.
just got done driving and then it's like balls to the walls, get out there and start going. So like this time around, I was kind of, you know what?
No, you were right.
I was like the composed, I was like, we're going to get a nice meal. We're going to get some fluids.
now that he's a father.
Little chicken, little
We're going to get
sex.
some fluids. We're going to pack some snacks.
Just don't know if we're having enough time. Maybe go to Home Depot, maybe Bed Bath and Beyond. Just don't know
Nice
if there's
little-
enough.
nice
just don't-
little Saturday
Nice little
plan,
Saturday.
actually.
Just don't know if there's enough time.
So yeah, I don't know. I was like, we're just going to,
We went out that night, but we just kind of scouted and
Yeah.
glassed, and
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the right move.
I honestly think too, part of it in the back of my mind was like, I'd really hate to tag out being in the state for 2 hours.
Don't rush it.
yeah.
Enjoy it.
You know what I mean? Like
Eat
it's
some
like
deer dogs.
like that, and I think that's yeah, we had a couple packs with us, but like
I just get so antsy. I'm like a bird dog. You know what I mean? They get
I
out of
get
the
it,
truck,
man.
they start pissing all over the place and shit. I'm ready to go, man. As soon as I get there.
but I honestly think that was going off of how he said it was it was the most enjoyable trip we had. I honestly think that's part of
Oh,
it.
it could literally couldn't win any better.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
because before it was so just like, I mean, kill obviously, but like trying to
Fucking loud.
That was loud.
enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't make it that like you get there and it's like, holy shit, load up. Let's get
Yeah.
out there right now. We just got into our
And
hotel.
like it wasn't our first time there, so like we kind of knew what to expect, and you know, it's obviously like the first year. That's exactly what we did because you're so excited, you don't know what to expect. You're just like, we gotta every second counts.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like you have enough. If you have a week,
Yeah.
at antelope hunting in Wyoming, and you have 2 tags, you have enough time.
You got
Yeah.
no time, yeah.
I mean, and I agree with you 100%. Like, say we went somewhere for a meal and we got there, I wouldn't be like,
Yeah,
let's
right.
get a McDonald's sandwich,
Uh-huh.
hang out. I'd be like, get your binos. We're getting out there, you know,
Right,
start
right,
scouting,
right.
glassing. But like,
Since we've been there,
it almost feels like a second home. Like,
oh yeah,
we've
we
been
love
there
that
3
place.
times.
Yeah.
You know, we know the restaurants, but I could tell you where the butcher shop is, the gas station, you know, yada, yada, yada. So I think it was just, it was no doubt.
All right. So you had a nice meal.
Yeah, I don't know where you want to
Scouted.
go from there, so
Yeah.
let's kind of letting you guys.
What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
You know, who killed first?
He killed first.
Okay.
So,
what was that first,
Go ahead.
second
You want
day?
to tell you want to go ahead and take that over? It was our first full day there.
Tell me about
Right.
it. You woke up.
Woke up, combed my hair,
Pissed excellence.
pissed excellence. No, I mean, you know, I was battling with like wanting the meat versus so the first 2 years we both shot pretty damn good bucks.
for that area.
For that
yeah,
area.
we did.
Yeah. And, you know, we had heard all these stories of like the fact that we had to wait 3 years to get these preference points because the unit got hit so hard.
Right.
And
we kind of didn't know what to expect going
the
out
number
there,
was starting to get
population-wise.
population-wise was like,
It was definitely
you know
down.
what I mean, a little iffy.
Yeah.
So I remember battling with like meat versus horns.
It's hard to imagine that the antelope population's down because anytime you drive out west,
I
they're
know.
just freaking everywhere.
It was,
I know,
though.
I know.
It was.
It's
it
hard
was
to
down.
imagine, but like
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now at the same time, like, that number being down, I don't know what that looks like. Like, I'm sure it's still a
I'm sure it's down.
good amount of
Yeah,
antelope, but like
right.
it's definitely, the numbers may be down for
We
sure.
didn't see as many as last time we were there.
I mean, no, once you got through South Dakota and you're driving in, let's go. You look right, you look left, there's a parcel, there's, you're just like, oh, there's 12, there's 18,
and
there's
the,
4.
and the
there's
majority of the big herds are all on private.
6. I remember we started driving in and we were like, well, I've seen 3.
Yeah. We're like,
Oh, no.
And then, and then
shit.
in my head, I'm like, I'm shooting the first thing I see.
So like we have, I'll say this and then you can take it over. But we have this spot that it's not a whole lot of area to park off of the highway. It's pretty narrow. But once you park right on that, in line with that, cut the fence and walk maybe 150 yards, it opens up and it goes back like maybe like 2 miles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But still for out there is not a huge piece. But a lot
To
of
us,
people,
that's a big piece.
a lot of people don't,
Yeah.
I don't think, know about it because we never see trucks there. So that was the first place we started in the morning because the last time we were there, you shot your buck there.
Yeah.
And that
Yep.
piece. And our cousin was actually out there the same year that we went,
Mm.
the first year. Or no, that was the second year.
Second year.
And they shot one there.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's where we started. First day, we had a good feeling that nobody would be there. It's usually overlooked. And we always see antelope back there. So that's,
We had
that's where
we had a
started.
great starting point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing with like that place feeling like a second home is like, you got pins dropped, you got areas that
we
you
the
know,
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is where
We already
these
know the
animals are.
topography. We already know what points to get out on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, honestly, my kill, I mean, it wasn't any.
It's pretty funny though.
Yeah, I mean, the funniest part about it was, so we got on this top, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna work my way over and glass this bottom.
Well, first off, we sat for like the first like hour and a half on opposite sides of this ridge.
Are you talking-
We
Yeah.
didn't see anything. You know what I mean? So like the way it works is like you go on this piece, it's flat, you drop down this ridge, and it splits, and there's like 2 points watching in this bottom. So we both got off of that first thing in the morning, and we're watching down there, glassing. We didn't see anything. And if you hunt in Wyoming, or if you ever have, anyone who has, you know that it's extremely foggy for the majority
Yeah.
of the morning. So we know that we're just going to sit here. We're going to wait for the fog to lift, and then we're going to cut the bottom. Once we see that it's clear, we're going to get up on top of the other ridge, and then there's a whole nother bottom over behind that. And that's where we usually get into them. But going through in the fog first thing in the morning, we didn't want to
Blow 'em out,
we didn't know if they were in that
yeah.
first bottom and not over the second ridge. So
Right.
we waited, and then we hiked over to the second ridge, and then you can take it over from there.
Yeah, I mean, like I was getting at, we got on the top, and I wanted to glass over an edge, and I'm glassing. I didn't see anything. I veered left, and Joe with his mouth wide open.
And we were
It's just
together.
like-
We were together at this point.
He's just looking around, and I'm like, "Animal above you, like right there." And he's like looking at me, and I'm like, "Get down, get down,
Get down.
get down,
Get down again.
I was already on my knees. I was
Yeah.
standing there in the wide
Yeah.
open,
He wasn't standing there, but I was like, just
and I was just
get prone.
halfway. Maybe a quarter of my waist to my head was
Well,
above this slight little roll, so I wasn't completely exposed.
Yeah. So I get back to him, and
They're just staring at us at this point. There's probably
it's funny.
seven antelope.
I'm looking at him. It's dead silent. And the comment that Joe throws after, he goes, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "What? Really?
Obviously,
No way!
You should join the CIA.
No way!" So, how I was telling you about that battle with like horns and meat. So I look at this one. I mean, there was what?
there
Four?
was three
bucks?
three
Three
bucks and 4 does.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were 7 of them, and
I shot a dinky buck, but
he
of the 3, he was the best.
he was the best.
Okay.
for what that's
Okay.
worth.
And he was warned beforehand.
And
by
that's
me.
that's what I was going to give him credit for, which I was definitely shocked. Was he was like,
Yeah, because usually I'm quick to the
normally
trigger.
he'd be like, "I'm killing him right now," but he was like, I'm looking at him through my scope, and I'm, like I said, battling. Like,
and I had
we just drove.
I had my binos up. I was looking at him. I was behind him. He was laying down, prone on the gun. I ranged him for him. I'm like, he's 225.
Yeah, 225.
I'm like, oh, you're good. I'm like, just letting you know.
Well, the part that freaked me out is like, he's like, I'm changing my scope. Think about it. I think he looks pretty decent.
What am I thinking about?
You're hunting with a buddy, and you're about to shoot him. He's
got horns.
He goes, hey, he's broadside.
Yeah, I did good there.
But think about it.
I said, do you want the horns or do you want the meat? Because he's small.
Now, and I will say, for me, it made me feel like a savage because I felt like I responded by saying, I want the meat.
Oh, it was.
He wants the
This
meats.
is Arby's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was no hesitation. He's like, no, I want the meat. I can take him. Plus, like we had said, like
the population
the
being
population
down,
was down.
And the fact that Tuesday, Wednesday, weather was supposed to be terrible.
Yeah, the weather was
So
turning
say
bad.
you wait Monday, nothing happens. You're out Tuesday, Wednesday.
We might
you
lose
now
2
got
days of
2
hunting.
days,
Yeah,
Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday to try to get the job done.
You cannot
with,
see anything in those days.
with a low population. And we were there.
we would have gone, but it would have been miserable.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, we were there the second year where,
Oh my god.
say Monday, Tuesday was like high 60s
Yeah.
ish, something like that.
That's decent.
And then Thursday is like a record setting snowstorm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
That
talking.
That can happen out there.
Oh,
I mean, just a wave of
absolute
like
insanity.
Mother Nature.
We
just-
went
you don't
about
know.
35 miles. We left 2 days early because it was that bad. We were already tagged. Oh no, we shot our bucks, but we didn't shoot.
We didn't shoot
we didn't
does.
fill our doe
Yeah.
tags, and we were going like 35 miles an hour on the highway for about 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. There was tractor trailers rolled over. There was exit signs taken out.
Yeah.
Couldn't see nothing.
Yeah, that was the second year we were there. So we saw that the weather was potentially changing, and we're like, that's 2 days. Like it could turn. Might not be that bad, or it could be like it was the last time we were here, and it's like
Because you're
you're
play
not
that,
going out.
Yeah.
You play that battle of like even here. You look at the radar or you check weather bug, and it's like Tuesday, Wednesday,
It's not like that out there.
rainstorms.
Yeah.
Out there, it's like
Definitely.
This could get bad.
It could
fast.
get bad.
Dude,
So,
I've
like,
been out there on my birthday in August and literally had a snowball fight.
exactly.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nuts.
It's and that's like I was saying the second year, beautiful, and then 2 days later, it's like, oh, we got 18 inches of snow. It's like, what do you mean? Where did that come from? It was just it was just beautiful. So, for me, I like he said, think about it, and I was like, I want the meat. And
I was happy for you.
I've thought about it, Joe, and I'm gonna go ahead and take this.
I just
one
wanted
here.
you to be happy with it.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I was happy, but I did tell him after I shot him, I was like, look, this is what we're gonna do. You walk up on him first,
Yeah.
and I'll wait for your reaction. And of course, as my loving older brother, he looks at him and he goes,
He's a giant.
shakes his head, and I'm like, oh shit. Is he that thing?
Do you realize what you've done?
I walk up and I'm like, I did say I wanted the meat, not the horn. And I'm instantly trying to convince myself, you know what I mean? Like, but I mean, that's the same thing that we were talking about earlier about like, it's not always about.
No, I think what's such a battle about going all the way out there is it's such a long drive.
You don't want to come home empty handed.
You don't want to
100%,
come home empty-handed, but you also don't want to rush. It's like this weird internal struggle of, do you pass one? Do you not pass one? Do you get another chance? We're hunting public land. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's something that you have to kind of, like I said, I was thinking about that on the drive out there is like, you
have to mentally make that decision before you get there.
Are you going to be comfortable with driving 24 hours, passing up multiple bucks to find a really nice one and come home with nothing
Which you
potentially?
might not find.
Right.
Or are you okay with doing what I did? It's brown, it's down. You see a legal buck, you see a nice buck, you kill him, and you got meat.
Yeah.
So that's
Which the meat is great.
Yeah.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Seems logical to me.
Yeah. So
Just got to get him cooled down quick.
Yeah. I don't think I'd go out there and want to come home empty handed.
No.
No.
We never have.
And
I
it's-
mean, it's a fun hunt. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and it is it's a brutal drive.
I didn't think it was that bad this time.
Well, I felt like being in the car for 24 hours just sucks.
Coming home
matter
always sucks.
No matter
Getting there is enough
how you
bad.
slice it. I mean, I will say going down definitely felt like you blinked and we were like, oh, we're 16 hours in.
Yeah, I thought we did
But coming
good.
home sucked.
It always
Well,
does.
we
For
like
sure.
it was nice. We got to break it up this year.
Yeah.
Thanks to Monica, we stopped
Yeah.
on the way because she's currently still living in Columbus. So we stopped there. She made us a great breakfast, packed us all kinds of snacks and
That's
everything.
awesome.
My loving
Yeah,
wife.
it was nice.
So that like even that little stop because like we ate good food. It wasn't crap. Like she cooks pretty healthy. So like, I think that really helped us because usually when we're driving, you know how it is. Like you don't have time to go to some gourmet restaurant and get a salad. No. You know what I mean? You're
grabbing.
Give me a hash brown and a couple of sausage McMuffins
give me a couple oranges and a couple browns.
Like, hey, that gas station has a McDonald's in it. You want to stop there? We'll do two at one time.
Exactly. So like just even that meal, I think made the drive and that tiny little break, even though we were only 3 hours in, made a huge difference.
100%.
Yeah.
Because you're not stopping for gas station sushi. You're getting.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. If that's your cup of tea.
No, that's 100. Nobody should ever do that.
Listen, there was a gas station in.
You got sushi from a gas station?
No, but there was a gas station in Illinois that had some of the best, like Chinese and all kinds. Dude, I'm telling you. Ask my brother Joe. Ask him about the gas station food in Illinois that we hit up, dude. I'm telling you, like egg rolls, like legitimate, really good food. Now, mind you, this is
how far did you make it down the road?
We were fine. You got to think about
20
this,
minutes
like,
later.
Like Illinois, where we were at, you come up to a 4-way, and that's the town. And you might have a gas station, which is also their market, their stores, their food, and there's like 6 houses, and that's the town.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
We're not talking about
like
a Sheetz.
Not more crap. Wow.
Like that's what we're but.
Just quick plug. Our cousin Keith Kellinger I think he's still in Illinois. His buddy owns a farm out there, and he just went out there this week and he shot. It's not scored yet, but it's a 160-inch buck.
Yeah, it looks
Damn.
like.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just a shout out to him because he'll listen to.
Yeah.
Badass.
Good for him.
Yeah.
It's
Good job.
awesome,
Good job,
man.
buddy.
Yeah,
Love
good
you.
job, buddy.
Yeah. I actually got a picture as well. Someone shot a nice buck tonight.
Really?
Guy used to play, my buddy Theron, he used to play softball with him. You want to go piss? Go piss. Go ahead.
He's got a tinkle.
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't have to right now because I usually have to pee even if I'm not drinking beer every 3 minutes.
That's all right. It's Joe's story anyways, so you're up to bat, huh? He
I'm
got
up
it
to
done
bat.
first. You're
yeah.
up. Let's hear
So he shot his buck. It was a decent drag out there, but like they're not huge, and he's pretty damn strong. So he literally threw it over his shoulder, and we just threw like his.
I was just looking at pictures and saw
Did
that
you see
again.
that? Yeah. He threw it over his shoulder and just carried it out, and we had our orange on. We were safe. I mean, So took it to the butcher, and then we went back. I think we got something to eat, and then I started getting all anxious, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. Like I'm ready to get behind the gun.
Yep.
Yeah. So like we do like every year we've been out there, we flip flop on who's on the gun first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he was first this year. So we went out, we were driving, we went to this big piece of walk-in property, drove the road out, parked, walked in, glassed, didn't see anything. And then we're driving the road back, and like I'm saying road, but this is a dirt road in the middle of nowhere.
Is it BLM?
It was a walk-in access program where there's like
yeah.
a private landowner that, leases, gets a tax break basically to the state. And then once you get through his land, there's a bunch of BLM. So like parked, walked in, glass, didn't see anything. We're driving back to go into the road that cuts farther into the property. And as we're driving back, there's a buck standing there in the field a couple 100 yards out. I'm like, how did we miss this buck? We were glassing on the way out. So like, I think he was bedded down. We just didn't see him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. So like we park and like we're glassing him and we're like, I'm like, he doesn't look bad. He looks decent. He was real funky looking. Like he went, it didn't go straight up like most of them do. He kind of like wide and then he curled in, which was kind of like not back or, sometimes they'll curl forward. Most of the time it's back, but he curled like kind of in towards himself. So I'm like, all right, well, he looks pretty decent. So we get out, we put a stalk on. At that point, he was bedded, I believe. Yeah, he was bedded down. He bedded back down. Get out there, and I'm laying down on the gun, and I'm looking at him. He's bedded, and we're just kind of like waiting for him to stand up. And I'm like, I start second guessing myself, which I do so well. I'm like, man, you just shot your buck. If I shoot this buck, like this is the first full day. Like we're done. Like that's the goal, but you want to keep hunting. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, like even after you tag out, you're kind of like, like you're bummed it's over. So I was like, I'm like,
indecisive Joe.
Yeah, I'm extremely indecisive. Ask my wife. Yeah. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, I don't know. It starts pouring down rain. And I'm like, screw it. Let's get out of here. I'm like, let's go farther back in and glass. We get out to the road and it's raining pretty good. And game warden's driving down the road, and she stops, and we're talking to her. She was real nice, and I'm like, yeah, there was a buck back there. I was looking at him. He's like, yay big, blah blah blah. She's like, that's pretty good for this unit this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not that many good bucks like that on public. They're all in private, and a lot of them got killed off. And I'm like, oh shit, what have I done? So we get into the truck, and he's like, I can tell he's getting aggravated because
It wasn't so much I was getting aggravated. I knew what was coming, and like he gets in because I mean he's my brother. I know him better than he knows himself. And he gets in and he looks at me. What do you think? And I was like,
it really doesn't matter.
I was like, I'm going to tell you.
I need his approval.
I'm going to tell you
for
the
what
same.
I'm about to do.
I was like, I'm going to tell you the same thing you told me. Think about the weather.
It's like shit.
What if Tuesday, Wednesday truly are shit? And guess what? Tuesday was terrible, and Wednesday was like, when we got breakfast, it was like 20 mile an hour winds.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad. So I was like, think about the weather. I mean, yet again, we come this far.
Yeah, so we're
there's
in the
a
truck
buck that we
talking.
can make a stock on, and
I'm like, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I should. And I was like, all right, screw it, let's go, let's kill him. Let's kill. We go hike back in right to where we were at 15, 20 minutes prior. Lay down.
Yeah,
I'm on him. I range him. I think he was like 240, 240,
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of cattle on that farm.
Remember, I lost them.
Yeah, you couldn't see him.
Mm-mm.
I saw him though, and he was still bedded down. So a bunch of cattle start working their way towards him. He pops up and takes off running 50, 60 yards. And you ranged him again.
Mm-hmm.
He was at like 250, 255.
Yeah.
Put it on him, squeeze it off, boom, straight down. And then I was just like, we were pumped.
Oh, hell
You know
yeah.
what I mean, it was great.
It was just a weird feeling because it was like,
I was like,
we got here yesterday.
yeah, like we got here yesterday. And what are we going to do? You know what
And
I mean?
I had brought my set of golf clubs.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey,
You want to go golfing?
let's go golfing.
Catch around.
Let's go golfing.
I did bring my turkey gear with me, though.
Oh, yeah.
So just throwing that out there. I'll just leave it at that.
So anyway, you shot a buck in archery.
Since he said the T word, I'm gonna find some really funny, like, common themes here, right?
Okay.
Because it's funny the way Joe talks and the way he acts. Like, he wants to get there and he wants to just get going and get out. And I get it because, like, obviously we've been talking to you in other podcast episodes about the turkey chase. You're chasing 49, that kind of thing. And I get it because, like, you're only spending a very short period of time at these places when you're out doing these turkey hunts. So, like,
Right.
you got to get out and you got to get going and spend every minute you can
there's
when
no
you're turkey hunting.
Yeah, there's no relaxation.
Right. And that's what, like, kind of, as I'm gaining in this story, that's like transpiring into your antelope hunt. Even then.
That had something to do with pulling the trigger. Yeah, if that's what you're getting at. Yeah.
Right.
I was like, oh, I have 5 days now to try to kill a turkey here while I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So basically, it all comes back to the T word.
It does. Yeah, that did have something to do
It
with
really
it.
does.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
What did you shoot in golf?
I shot
3 under par.
an undisclosed score.
Okay.
Do you have any birdies?
I'm going to be honest with you. So I actually do golf. He doesn't really golf. I
He turkey hunts.
We'll golf together for fun. But like I actually
went, I
like
golfed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually try to like
No,
keep track of my
he's pretty
scores and things
decent.
like that.
I'm terrible.
And I will tell you right out of the gate, we shot those bucks. It was the first hole was a par 3. I walked up with balls of steel. I was like, I'm putting this sucker right on there. 18 feet to the left in a pine tree. It kicked out. And I was like, rough start. He follows up. He's on the opposite fairway. I was like, this ain't good.
It's going to be awesome.
I got a mean slice.
I was like, I'm waiting for the marshal to be like, we got to pick it up. Even though there's nobody behind you, we got to pick it up.
To be fair, who the hell starts off a golf course with a par 3?
I agreed.
That's not even fair.
Yeah, it was weird.
That's stupid.
This is Wyoming.
But
Yeah,
he
that's a good point.
told me
They're not
because
known for golf destination.
yeah.
he did tell me though, after, I don't know, it was maybe 135 yards, I normally hear swing like a pitching wedge. And
Yeah.
after I hit, like distance was good, but like it was left. And his father-in-law told him
The air's
out
thinner.
west, the air's thinner. So like
The ball travels.
that may
Yep.
be,
Yeah.
you know what
Gotta
I mean?
club down.
Club down.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
I didn't think about that, but that's a side note.
that the wind and everything plays a part when you're out.
Yeah.
That's cool though. That's a great trip.
Mhm.
I totally get though where you're coming from. Like you spend all that time going all the way out there, and then do you really want to spend 8 hours in the state hunting, and then what?
Yeah.
You drive home.
We did a lot of cool things though. Like we went to a national forest and went fishing and bought a 1-day fishing permit. It was unbelievable.
That's awesome.
I mean, it
Absolutely. I think I sent you pictures of that, didn't I?
Yeah, when you if you could summarize something as drop dead gorgeous.
Oh, it was absolutely beautiful.
We didn't want to leave.
Like we went to like the
Caught no fish, but we didn't want to leave.
we went to the outdoor store in town to buy our fishing license, and then they were like, it said online, ask them for recommendations on where to fish, and we were asking them this and then. They're like, oh, you should go to this reservoir, and I'm like thinking like back home, I'm like, I don't want to go to a reservoir. You know what I mean? I'm like, I want to go.
We know what the reservoirs look like.
Yeah,
right.
This wasn't any type of reservoir.
Don't be sending me to Moraine.
And in Western Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
And we got there, I was like, wow, that guy was right. This is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, because he said to me, he's like,
we didn't catch any fish.
He's like,
we drank a bunch of whiskey.
Yeah. He's like, if you want, I forget, what did he say? He's like, good chance of catching some trout's going to be blah, blah, blah. Views is going to be reservoir. And
we had a flask filled up to keep us warm.
That was at
I was chiefing on that.
Pinkerton.
I never heard of that kind of trout.
No, that was the whiskey. Ever get one?
Dude, I was getting pissed.
I gave up immediately.
He gave up immediately, and he was like,
I don't have the patience for it.
He was like, how much longer are you planning on staying, huh? I was like,
we were already there a while.
We were, but I was like, until I get one. I had my tackle box. I threw every rooster tail. I was putting power bait on, thinking like back home.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, I got snagged like 3 times. I was like, nope, I'm done.
I looked over and I was like, that's a weird spot to cast your rod from that 20-foot rock. And I was like, oh, he quit fishing. We've been here for 15 minutes.
I was like, where's that flask at?
Give me the Pinkerton.
Yeah. Let's drink some whiskey
much.
and then scale around this rock ledge that we went. Like everyone was fishing on the opposite side of this reservoir, and we were like, oh, we're going over there. We like literally had to walk a goat path along this like rock wall. I mean, it was like
we got some cool pictures.
Yeah. And then like we started like walking our way out, and I was like took a step and I was like started going right a little bit. I was like, oh boy.
That Pinkerton, that Pinkerton's kicking in.
I'm gonna have to take some short choppy steps getting out of here.
It's that thin air, less oxygen.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was the thin air. Yeah.
Yep.
But like another cool thing that came out of that was when we went to the butcher shop.
Yep.
Go ahead, you tell the story.
So
you did it.
Yeah. So I'm a stickler for carrying cash. Like cash is king. So like everywhere we go, I'm like, I got all this cash in an envelope. So I had cash for my butcher fee, and I was like, you know what? We're about to pass it. Let me just stop. I'll pay for it now. When we pick it up, I know it's paid for. Whatever.
Fate.
Yeah. So I walk in. This lady's like, hey, what'd you shoot? And I was like, oh, antelope. She's like, oh, that's nice. We don't have many antelope on our ranch. With a lot of elk. And I was like, oh, that's great. Walk out. And I was like,
we already have 2 preference points in Wyoming for elk.
I'm going to go back in there and pick her brain a little bit. You know what I mean? Because like for me, that's my dream animal is killing elk. Like that's what I want to kill one more than it. So I was like, I'm going to go back in there. And I just start picking her brain, asking her questions. And I mean, talk about something escalating quickly.
Yeah. Seriously.
She's like, here's my husband's phone number. We have, I think, just shy of 2,000 acres.
Yeah.
Give him a call. Call him, leave a voicemail. We leave. We're heading to go shoot prairie dogs. Yeah. He calls me back and he's like, hey, just want to return your call. I'm heading to Bighorn now. If you guys wanted to meet up and talk a little bit, about this elk hunt.
Immediately turned around.
Let's turn around and head back.
Yeah. Forget those prairie dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We killed those later.
Yeah. So, really long story short, we go back and we're like, hey, we obviously have some free time because we tagged out, Monday. So maybe we could check out your ranch on Friday, just kind of, actually get some boots on the ground a little bit, because you know how it is. Like somebody tells you, yeah, I got XYZ property. And then you show up and you're like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So it was nice to be like, hey, we have the time. We're out here.
Spend a little bit of time.
We might as well stop.
Super nice guy.
Build a little bit of relationship, coincidentally, PA.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Cool. I forget where he said they were. Oh, no, Philadelphia.
Was it
Philly? Yeah. They were from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just another piece of like the icing on the cake was like, and the prices were, it was.
Yeah, basically you pay X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
To hunt there. If you kill one, then you pay another fee. But it was pretty.
But it was just crazy because like I'm just gonna go in and pay my butcher fee.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way. I don't want
Yeah.
to carry the cash. And then I don't know. It clicked when she's like, yeah, not a bunch of antelope, but a lot of elk. I was like, oh, that's great. And I was like, wait a minute.
Hold on a second.
A lot of elk. And I think that's what's funny too is like, 2,000 acres if you own out there is, I don't want to say that like
It's not a lot.
that's considered small, but like here, if you owned like 15, you're like, I got some land.
100%.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, you want to shoot some 3D targets on my chunk? I got quad trails. I got, I
got it made.
Yeah. So it just, I don't know, man. It was.
Checked out the property. The guy was super cool.
Oh,
we didn't see any elk that day, which was, we were a little discouraged with that. But he was also, he's like, this time of day, they're not here. They're up on the mountain.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning, they're heading towards the mountain. In the evening, they're coming down. We were like right in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then he had one hunter that
was coming out that following Monday.
Yeah, that following Monday that drew a bull tag.
Yeah.
And he shot a really nice bull. Was he a 6x6?
He's a 6x6. And the nice thing too was when I had been keeping in contact with him and I said, hey, and yet again, like
keep us posted.
he doesn't have to be that nice. You know what I mean? I said, if you shoot some bulls, like I'd love to see pictures just for more confirmation. And without hesitation, he said, without a shadow of a doubt. And sure enough,
that guy.
He sends me a picture of a 6x6 that he kills his wife 4 days later. I think.
Yeah,
she shot
just like 6x5,
6x5, I think. And then a few days after that, he sends me a picture of a herd of 40 elk, probably.
Yeah,
2, reject bulls, decent bulls. Mm-hmm. Another really nice one, and 25 cows. And it was like,
so we're gonna.
That seems pretty
we
reassuring.
Have 2 points. The odds are, he's like, well, we've had people that've drawn with 1. We've had people that don't draw with 7 that whole game. So, like, if we have enough money saved up by next July, I believe, when the drawing is, we're going to apply and see. But if not,
he basically
get a preference point.
It's basically a roller coaster. You could draw. He said, I had guys with 7 not draw. I had guys with 1 draw. It's just
crazy.
It's that roller coaster. So that's why we were saying, hey, if we got the money saved, what the hell is it going to hurt to put in for it?
Right.
Yeah. Might as well.
Or at least get a preference point.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Might as well put in for it.
Hopefully within the next few years we'll be going back there.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, because at that point, too, you don't really have to worry about, let's go chase elk on public land somewhere. Where you got to figure it all out again all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we still got to get our own lodging and everything. It's no more than just you have access to the property.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not a guide by any means. The guy works a full-time job building log homes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's no different than us going out there antelope hunting and Joe Schmo says, hey, if you guys want to kill one on my property, it's $500. You know what I mean? Like, same.
So you're paying pretty much a trespassing fee?
Basically.
Pretty much.
And a trophy fee if you end up getting one.
Yes.
Yeah,
correct. Not a bad deal.
Really not, because, really, anywhere you go, you're going to pay something like that.
Yeah.
Unless you do, DIY.
Right.
Over the counter somewhere, but what are your odds with that?
Right.
I actually looked them up, and at least for Colorado, DIY over the counter is 7%.
Yeah, I knew it was less than 10.
Wow.
Yeah, it was 7%.
It's single digits,
Yeah, which is... That's tough.
So if you want to do this hunt, is it going to be a rifle hunt, a bow hunt?
Rifle
hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah. My dream one day is to kill one with my bow.
He really wants to hunt one with a bow, but I'm a rifle hunter out west.
Just because that's part of the process of like when I shoot, like I try to practice it. Like my max kind of right now that I actually like feel comfortable is that like 70-ish kind of range. You know what I mean? Which for me, I know, you got guys that shoot 110 yards, but like for me 70, especially winds start changing, shit happens, like
let alone shooting at an animal that has a chest cavity that's friggin' 4.5 feet tall, more than that probably.
But like that's something that I take, like say I get, my wife has my son and I say I want to go shoot my bow and I have an 1.5. Something that I'm thinking about is that, prep for those ranges, practice at that 70-ish, 60-ish yards, because you do a DIY elk hunt backcountry and you're bow hunting, don't plan on getting a 20-yard broadside shot.
Right.
You better be ready to say, hey, that bull's 72 yards.
Yep.
This is the only one you've seen in 4 days. Like, you going to do it or not?
You're right.
So
I'll take the trusty Win Mag.
Yeah. Well, that's
It's a different hunt though too, because
Yeah,
you know if you're hunting with a bow, typically that's during the rut.
Yep.
You're hearing bulls bugling,
Yep.
chasing,
I
running.
mean, that would be
That's all part of the experience
Yeah.
of taking your bow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that in close personal feeling of getting in on them tight,
100%.
getting in the woods with them. Where a gun, I'm not going to take anything away from it, because I think we've talked about it a lot too. We've always said, the first hunt out probably should take the gun and get used to the area.
100%.
Chasing
right.
big elk around with a gun that you can shoot 300-400 yards potentially.
Right.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
But that's cool, man. That's exciting.
Yeah,
That is exciting.
We're kind of excited about it.
Heck
That all boils into why it was the best trip.
Yeah, and there's so many
Yeah,
things.
for
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
able to check off Wyoming with
Yeah,
the,
it was-
with the T word.
Yeah,
I'll
oh,
just
yeah.
leave it at
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
So you got one of them.
You can tell the
states off
story.
I'm not telling. I don't want to
No.
tell the story.
That story's gonna wait.
Yeah,
Story's gonna win.
the story's gonna wait.
Story
Yeah.
time.
Wyoming's checked off. So
Well, let's all right. Let's roll into this week then.
Yeah, we got some brand new,
yeah, I forgot about that.
hot,
I
hot
didn't
off
forget
the
about
press. One last story for y'all. Joe actually went deer hunting, guys.
it. Yes,
Joe, the turkey slayer.
I
With
do
deer
deer
hunting.
hunt.
I do deer.
Yeah.
Hey man, I do deer hunt, by the way. Yeah, well,
If you ask
that's
him
what you
like
wanna
how
call
crazy
it.
I am about turkeys now, and you ask him like how I was for deer like
Oh, yeah.
6 years ago, I was a completely different person.
yeah.
Oh, totally,
Yeah.
totally.
And I think that's what's funny now too, is like the unfortunate separation. I will be the first to tell you.
I just love hunting the rut. I'll hunt them early season, but like when I first started hunting, I would hunt balls to the wall. I'd burn myself out early. I just enjoy this time of the year. So like,
yeah,
I'll go, but I don't go, every single weekend,
Yeah.
October and
Yeah.
September, you know what I mean? Early season. Like I kind of just save my time, spend time with my wife. And then November,
That's not a
that's
bad
when I want to
approach
go.
either.
That's when I want to go hunt. I just like this time of the year. I like
Yeah.
the randomness of I don't know what buck's going to come through. I
Yeah.
kind of like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of like bouncing around, hunting new areas. I don't know what's there. I just kind of like the unknown factor about it more so than I'm hunting this specific buck on this specific
Mhm.
route on this property. Like I like bouncing around. I don't care what comes through. You know what I mean? Like I still want to shoot a decent buck, but I kind of like the unknown of not knowing what's there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
So
No, the point that I was getting at, I have a funny turkey story because, like, for me, the different.
no turkey stories.
It's a funny story.
It's a funny story.
You gotta. Oh, you're gonna allow him to talk about turkeys, but you're not gonna let me.
I told you to tell the story.
You're lying.
Well, I'm just saying, like
This is a huge turn of events here.
like the differences of like me personally. I feel like you can't teach grit and determination. Like either,
I would agree with that.
like you can say that like I really want to shoot this nice buck, blah 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 blah, but it's 14 outside, it's cold. I don't know if I'm gonna
That
get.
bed feels warm. I'm gonna roll over.
I'm gonna just stay. I snoozed the alarm 14 times. Like,
Could be me tomorrow. We don't know yet.
Could be, but like
Don't you say that.
that's not an option.
It won't be me tomorrow.
But you get my point. Like I just feel like that's something that you can't teach, and like for me, that is whitetail hunting.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna get out there. I don't care who says I can't. I'm gonna make it happen, and that's how he is with turkey hunting. And it used to be that way more so with deer hunting, but
Yeah.
as time progressed, it's been turkey hunting. But funny story, was it last season or 2 years ago? I bought that nice vest.
Oh yeah.
I was on cloud nine.
Is it Tidwee? Tidewee?
Tidewee.
Tidewee.
Yeah,
I got
Tidewee.
this nice vest. I was like, dude, I'm feeling good.
Sharp dressed
My
man.
calls,
good,
my
feeling
calls
good.
sound 50-50, but I'm feeling good. I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah, but I'm going out. I'm gonna go out this weekend. I'm gonna go out that.
Hold on
weekend.
now. First, remember that opening day that I went?
Yeah,
You were with Matt.
I remember it. Yeah.
I go out, right? And now, yet again, just the drive and determination factor. Like, did I roost any birds? No. Is that like the determining factor? Probably not, but like I just didn't put the time at all. I get out there. It's like 8:45 a.m. Joe receives a text. Eaton Park ? He goes, it's been light for an hour and 20 minutes. I go, bud, there ain't shit out here. My ass is cold and I'm hungry. I'm ready to go. And he's like, and that's just, I just think it's funny because it's like the difference. He's like, I'll stay out here for the next 14 hours. But me, I'm like,
I'm not leaving.
I'm ready to get the hell out of here.
That was Joe on the
I'm
rock
hungry.
with his fishing rod.
Yeah.
Exactly.
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 Oh man. Anyway, had to get turkey.
Yeah, we had to.
Sorry.
Good for us.
It's okay. I'm going to beat him up when you guys leave.
I didn't do it. It wasn't even me.
He did it.
It was him. The last person I would have thought.
Yeah, I
There's a story about Eaton Park, okay?
Yeah, maybe.
I respected our agreement.
He said the T word out loud.
Just another funny side note is I used to work at Eaton Park.
Oh.
I got a job there. I got a worker's permit when I was 15. Funny way that I almost got fired was I was a dishwasher and a busboy. I tried to sneak in the back, and there's a legit recipe for their ranch. If any of you have had their ranch, it's like the best ranch in the world. Tried to steal it. Sweet Asian lady caught me and said, "What are you doing?" And I had a note card in my hand. I said, "I'm taking notes on cleaning the dishes."
Taking notes on cleaning
she was like,
dishes.
"What?" And then she just seen like, and then you look at the note card, you see 2 tablespoons of this, 1 tablespoon of this, 1 this. And she was like, "Is that the ranch recipe?" I grabbed it out of my hand. I was like, "Oh shit, never mind." I ran away. I was 16.
Nobody likes Asian food.
Clearly, he didn't have a cell phone at the time to
No,
take a
gas
picture.
station.
Yeah.
No, maybe
Yeah.
a track.
I love Asian.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Funny story. I worked at Bob
Fantastic.
Evans as a dishwasher and busboy, bro.
It
I was a
sucks.
dishwasher at Panera.
It sucks.
It's like we're in our own fraternity.
I almost got
Guys, I never washed dishes. I don't.
You haven't lived.
Bud. I almost got in a fist fight in Eaton Park.
That's where all that grit and determination comes from. And hunting now. All stems from dishwashing dishes.
Dude, listen to this.
Sorry, guys.
I don't remember. I think it was like a Friday or Saturday. And, as a 16-year-old, you're pissed off that you're obviously working a Saturday. And I'm cleaning this table, and there's like, kids my age in there. And, the busboy, you got that black little plastic tote. And, I'm wiping shit down. I'm like, okay. And I'm pulling everything in, and this cup of ranch comes in. And it, drops in, hits, and splashes. And ranch is like on my chin. It's on my chest. And I look over, and these kids are, "Did you see that idiot over there get ranch on him?" And I was like,
That's a bad move.
okay, I'm going to be nice and polite. And I'm not going to say what I said, but it was pretty raw. And my manager, coincidentally, had been like coming out of the back kitchen. And I'm like, with my shirt on, like, "I'll beat your fucking ass outside. You're going to die, clown." And he's like, his name was Jeff. He's like, "Brandon, in the back, please."
It's going to be hard to share this episode with family now.
Well, you can edit that out. I apologize.
You're good.
But yeah, just a little funny side note.
I love it.
Just stop while you're ahead.
I thought that was totally going to go sideways, and you were going to look him right in the eye and dip your finger up your chest on the ranch. You just put it in your mouth. Yeah.
I should have did that.
That's right.
Looking back, I should have.
You just got to stand there and bleed, boy.
Just get like this and say, "I almost stole the recipe."
It's the closest I've ever been. It's the closest you ever
But they bribed me with a bowl of chili instead.
Oh my.
That's too good. Anyways,
Yeah. What were we talking about?
we were talking about this
Turkeys.
week. No.
Get out of here.
I think it was deer hunting. Listen, before we luckily we had to postpone this once already, this episode, you guys coming in. We kind of like we were on the fence about a couple dates, and it just didn't work out the first one. So this one worked out great because like 2 days ago we get well, no, I didn't get I saw I'm on a group in Facebook, and I see a post from none other than Joe Marcello.
Yeah, because you just texted. You were like, "What did you do?"
Yeah, and Austin's probably totally confused.
I was.
And the first thing Joe replies back with, "You part of that group?" I was like, "Yep. What'd you do?" "I'm on to you, buddy. I'm watching you. You posted something about deer for once, and I want to know what the hell happened." So we want to know what happened.
All right. So, like I said, my wife currently still is in Columbus, so that's kind of where I got laid off. So I've just been out there since I've been laid off because there's no point in doing the back and forth thing. We're in the transition of moving here. Anyway, long story short, I started scouting some public pieces and stuff like that, and my father-in-law was like, "You should talk to Uncle Rod. He's got 50 acres at his house."
Car ramrod.
Yeah. So I was like, that's fine. I don't want it to be that weirdness, like, oh, like I'm in the family, you got to give me permission. But like, he's a great guy. I went out there, we visited, he gave me permission. And coincidentally, that afternoon when I was there, it was like 2:00 in the afternoon. There was like 5 or 6 does in the field, and there was a smaller 1.5-year-old buck running does all through the field. So like, it's reassuring just to see that, deer are running around through the field. You know what I mean? So he gave me permission. What was that? Monday. Gave me permission Monday. I set a camera, and I'm like, I know exactly what's going to happen. Tuesday's Halloween. We already had plans that my wife's family was coming over to the house. We were going to pass out candy. The kids were going to come, her niece and nephew. And I'm like, I know that a bunch of deer are going to show up on this camera while I'm passing out candy. That's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
2 big bucks. I'm like showing her pictures, and that's fine. I have plenty of time to hunt. We had a good time. It was a nice night. So I'm like, whatever, I'll go out tomorrow night. So I go out Wednesday. I had some stuff to do during the day. I couldn't go out in the morning. Packed my stuff, bought my license the night before, worked my way to the corner of that field where I was seeing those does coming out on Monday when I was there. The trees there was a lot of big oak trees, and I tried to get my sticks around one. I couldn't even climb it.
Yeah.
But I was trying to find a tree, and then just like I looked to my right, and there's just this perfect pocket in this oak tree. And it was like maybe a 4 or 5 foot window in between 2 limbs. And it just shot right to the corner of that edge of that field. I'm like, oh my, it's like a light shined on. And I'm like, that's it. This is it. The wind's perfect for it. It's blowing straight out of the field, coming past me and going right down in this bottom where there's like 15 yards and it's to an open pasture. Nothing's coming from behind me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing's going to come back there. If it does, so be it. The majority of deer are going to be in front of me. So I got set at like pretty early. Since I saw those does coming out like 2:00 that Monday. I mean, granted, there was a front moving in, so that's probably why they were up a little earlier, but I'm like, I'm getting in early. So I got set at like 1:45, maybe 2:00. And I kept shifting the stand around I just couldn't get it right because there was a huge limb right above my head where I set the stand. It was like awkward. The limb was like on my shoulders. I shifted the stand like 3 times to where I finally got it set. And I'm only about 12 feet off the ground, but I had cover.
Yeah.
So no action. And then about 6:00, there was one doe out in the field out in front of me. She came off this peninsula. There was this like a brushy knoll on top of this like point, almost like a knoll on top of in the middle of the field. There's a brushy kind of patch there. She came out of that. I don't know how she didn't see me when I walked in, to be honest, because I skirted that a good ways. But I don't know how she didn't see me. Anyway, she came out, so that kind of got me up and got my attention. And then 6 does, about 15 minutes later, came out of the wood line and started working their way towards that corner. And I'm like, okay, I know there's 2 bucks in here last night. There's got to be a buck following these does. One's going to be coming out of this field. So I'm watching the does, I'm glassing, I keep checking that corner where they came out. Sure enough, I look over, there's a buck standing there right on the edge. Pull up my binos, I'm like, okay, that's a decent buck. It's good enough for me. Once again, like I said earlier, I somehow have been screwing it up for the last 4 years. I haven't killed a buck in archery season. So that's been killing me. So that buck comes out right away, boom, starts running after those does. They split, 3 go way left and 3 come right down to the corner to me. And he's in the middle. I'm like, okay, who's he going to go after?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is he going to go way left, way out of range? Maybe he'll work his way back down that edge because there was some scrapes there. So he starts working his way to the left towards the other does. And I'm watching him. And I got plenty of time. I know they've been working that corner. Like, I'm not going to grunt. I'm not going to do anything. Because at this point, those 3 does are 15 yards right in front of me.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm trying not to make too much movement. I'm trying to keep an eye on them, see if they're looking at me, trying to watch the buck at the same time. He wheels and starts trotting right towards me, towards those does. So I slowly, keeping my eyes on the does, start standing up out of my stand a little bit. And I get to not even completely standing. So, like, I couldn't shoot from sitting down because those limbs that pocket I had, the bottom section of the limbs was blocking the view where he was going to walk into. So I'm slowly standing up, keep an eye on the does. They're just looking at the buck. So I'm like, I'm good. He has no idea I'm here. So he gets to about 22 yards. I stop him right when I go to shoot. He starts to take another step and lunges towards those does to start to chase him. I hit him a little far back. I'm like, but on impact, when he wheeled to run, I saw good blood on the exit side of him spray out.
Yeah.
but I knew I hit him back. So he runs about 60 yards into the wood line and stops at a certain spot. His tail's going nuts. I'm like, okay, that's a good sign. It's going, counterclockwise. He's hurting.
He's done.
Yeah. So he runs down into the bottom, and I thought I heard some crashing, but it wasn't like a crashing deer. It was more like he's just busting brush, running through the woods.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, it was 6:25 when I shot him. So it's starting to get somewhat dark. Obviously, those does were kind of still in the field, so I didn't want to get down right away. I'm like, I'm just going to give it some time. I don't want them running into the woods, busting him even farther or anything. I'm like, I'm just going to wait for these does to work off. So they worked off. By the time I got down, it was pretty dark. Go to my arrow. It's got good blood on it. Even though the shot was back, it didn't smell. There was no gut matter on it or anything. But I still knew it was back. I was hesitant. So I tried looking for blood on impact, pretty much to the wood line. I couldn't find anything. Once again, it was dark. I'm like, I hate tracking deer in the dark. I've done it plenty of times. I don't like doing it. So I'm like, plus it was a marginal shot. I think, even though the arrow doesn't have gut matter on it, I know the shot was back. I'm like, I'm just going to wait till the morning. So I backed out of there. I did a little bit of research, which was what Charles was talking about. I went on some blood tracking dog pages and was just posting some questions and trying to look for a guy in case I needed it the next day because I thought it was possibly a gut shot. So I had a guy lined up. He was very helpful. He was basically what he told me to do pretty much was go to the last spot I saw him standing. If there's good blood, track him. If there's not, wait till he got off of work. So I'm like, okay. So, basically if there was no blood and it looked like it was possibly a gut shot and, he clotted up, I could either try it on my own. As long as if I had a blood trail and stayed on the blood trail, it wasn't going to jack up anything with the dog. But if I had to start grid searching, that foot trail scent was
spreads it everywhere.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Then the dog
crazy.
wouldn't be able to work. So I go to the last spot. The next morning, her uncle, he was super jacked. He was super excited. He called off work. He's super excited. So, drove out there in the gator, went to where impact shot was. I had marked it in the field, dropped it like a log right where I picked up my arrow. So I had a good starting point. Started finding blood, very, very little. Teeny drops, it was tough on my hands and knees, and then I lost it. Like, okay, I'm just going to go to the last point. I saw him standing in the woods where he stopped for about 30 seconds before he ran down over the hill. So I went to that spot, found it, and there was blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Good blood. And then I noticed that there was some bubbles, air bubbles in the blood. I'm like, okay. He was slightly quartering towards me. I might have clipped one lung. So started tracking the blood, and it was good blood. I mean, I could pretty much stand and see it as I was walking. I wasn't hunched down, looking for anything. I mean, I could pretty much stand up and follow it. So I'm following the blood, go over top of a deadfall. And I'm like, did he jump this deadfall? Like, I kind of don't like that. He did. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. Get down over it, follow the blood. Then there's a creek crossing. Track the blood up to the creek. As soon as I get to the edge of the creek, I see a buck jump up and start walking like kind of slow away. And I'm like, oh man, you got to be kidding me. And I see the rack and I'm like, that's not my buck. That's a smaller deer. That's a 1.5-year-old buck. So that buck works off. I cross the creek. I come up the embankment and he's bedded right there. He's dead. He's laying there. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I can't believe this. So got permission Monday, shot him Wednesday.
That's so cool.
I mean,
really first time
That's
in there.
killer, man.
First sit. Yeah, first sit. So, I mean, I needed that because my confidence has been low the last couple of years. Just, I hit one in the shoulder. I missed one. Just been a stretch of bad luck. So I really needed that harvest. So feeling good. And now we're going to be going up to our camp tomorrow to finish working on the kitchen to get ready for rifle. And I'm going to stay up there for like 3 or 4 days and do some bow hunting in PA. So
that's awesome, man.
But yeah, it was a great buck. We got to celebrate with her uncle. He was super excited. Can't thank him enough. He was thrilled for me, extremely happy. He's a hunter himself.
That's what it's about.
That is what it's about.
It was awesome.
Man.
We had a great day. We went and got lunch, took the deer to the processor, and it was awesome.
Awesome.
Great day.
I need better uncles.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's why I called my father-in-law. He was like, you're freaking spoiled. You know that. I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong.
Thanks again.
Who's got permission, bro?
Yeah. He's currently in Iowa pheasant hunting, so he's been having some good luck.
Yeah, tough life.
Yeah. But that was it, man. So
Dude,
on the
cool.
PA, it's been a good
Awesome.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very blessed, very fortunate.
Yeah.
Both have very good wives, very supportive of us and our passions and can't thank them enough. So
Good for you guys.
Yep.
Good season so far.
so far,
Yeah.
It's going to keep on going, man. We got so much time left. You guys
Yeah.
don't have any more buck tags, do you?
I have a PA buck tag.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 I got a doe tag still to try to fill.
Shit.
Yeah, I got a few
okay.
doe tags. Yeah.
Sweet, dude.
And the best part is turkey season's right around the corner.
Amen.
It was good having you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna end on that.
Boo.
All right. I'm going in the morning, so I'm not turkey hunting. I'm definitely still way ate up with the deer bug.
Yeah,
right
man.
now, too, so.
Dude.
I had to.
I'll make sure I let a couple of them out tomorrow.
There you go. Right from the stand.
Yeah, I don't care.
I want to see the Marco Polo.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Well, thanks for having us.
Honestly, guys, I
Thanks for letting me
appreciate you
drink your
guys
beer.
coming. This has
Yeah.
been
By all means.
an awesome time, man.
Oh, I always love
Before
hanging out
the
with you guys.
Oh, it was
Podcast.
great.
Yeah,
I wish we would have recorded it.
that was
because
pretty good.
That'd have been a great, like,
That was
Shout
that
out
was a good
Patreon
one.
episode
Old
or
Forester.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, absolutely.
Solid.
Very good
Not
bourbon.
not a sponsor.
Glad
Not a
you
Not a
sponsor.
sponsor.
Not yet. Not yet. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was great.
Yeah. That's yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you.
coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad. You know what? Actually, really thank you guys for keeping it together. Okay, and putting in your best Will Ferrell and getting all these deer stories out of the way without the debauchery that was
Yeah, I felt like-
happening.
I felt like we did good.
Yeah,
You
I
guys,
mean,
did great.
there's definitely a lot
we got it
Built
all
up.
out before the episode.
yeah, oh, yeah.
that we haven't
Got a
let
lot.
We
out.
had to get it out of the
Oh,
way a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah,
Didn't we lock you in a dumpster one time?
yeah, I got out.
Cheese.
But it's not cheese anymore. It's Dean.
Dean Pritchard.
Dean
now.
Pritchard. Once again, old school, great
Yeah.
movie.
Great movie, classic, absolute classic.
Guys,
On that note,
good people, good stories. This is a good one.
let's put a bow on this thing.
All right.
Wrap
Until
it up,
next
Austin.
week, man.
The distraction is real.
Let's go.